Welcome back, everybody, to another really exciting day in the Mortal Realms for us. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you got there? Is that a Myrmidon?
It's a Myrmidon.
Mm-hmm.
I
Awesome.
guess we're not necessarily talking about it, but I figured I'd do it in light of some of those Slaves to Darkness leaks we had, where we're
Yeah.
gonna apparently get some Myrmidon units. So I figured it was appropriate.
Yeah, let's just like hit that elephant right in the room right now. Because that was huge this weekend.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we got I don't know what happened at the factory or wherever, but we got like an absurd
right.
amount of leaks,
Yeah.
including that we know the Slaves of Darkness is coming in wintertime, so probably like December of this year.
Yep.
And a bunch of stuff was revealed. And yeah, like what you said, there's going to be, I think they're called Theridons, and they looked very
Yeah.
similar to like Annihilators, but with worse saves.
Oh, did we get their War Scroll too? We did. Yeah. Yeah.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be another show for another time because we have,
Yep.
that's only like the surface. We got like a ton of
Like.
Slaves of Darkness leaks, and we got the roadmap coming up
Yup.
as a result of that, and we got the entire Nighthaunt book.
The entire damn thing.
Except for the unique battalions that could be in there. Because you know how like every book has their like unique core battalion now?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we didn't get
We didn't
that.
see anything for that. Okay.
No, but like whatever.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Those
Um,
usually aren't too terribly exciting.
unless there's like an absurd one drop one in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's probably a little bit of poor form, but like everyone else in the world's doing it. We're gonna do our show on it today. Do our
Yep.
review because I couldn't stop looking at it.
I don't really think it's terribly poor form. It's just, everyone has it. Like, I mean,
It's out there, everyone has it, right? Like
yeah,
that's my logic. And like I just
we're not getting paid by Games Workshop,
yeah,
so yeah.
that and I think it's important too that like I'm still gonna buy the book even though I've seen this.
Yeah.
There's still a lot in the book that it offers, and like people like are paid money to write these. Like, just some people are gonna use this as a reason not to buy the book, and I think that's
Oh,
wrong, you know.
yeah.
And I just
But I
want
mean,
to
once
like
the book comes out, I'm sure, like, if you really wanted to, you could find it pretty much anywhere.
also
But
that yeah. So we're gonna cover it. Everyone else is, you know. Why
but
should we?
but don't but don't but don't go pirating. Buy the book.
Yeah, buy the book. Yeah, do what I do. With every time a book's like, I study the shit out of it and I love it. And then if it's an army, if you don't play Nighthaunt, don't get it. It's fine, right?
Yeah,
But if you
yeah.
play Nighthaunt, I think you should get it. I think you owe it that much for a product you enjoy, support it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then we got a bunch of like Slaves of Darkness stuff, but some of it's very cool looking, and a lot of it we're like, oh, what's gonna happen there,
Yeah,
right?
right? Yeah, there's
Mhm.
tons of stuff.
But yeah, if you see I'm painting Blade Geist Revenants. Spoiler for a little tease. Things to come. A unit we
They
were
might be
very down
relevant.
with in the Reign of Shades, but it's amazing what a book does.
Yup.
Yeah, but yeah, have you gotten any games in?
No, it's been a little quiet.
Yeah, I was supposed to, and then it fell through.
Yeah.
I got a 40K in, but that's not relevant to this. But
Did you play Tyranids?
no, because they weren't quite ready yet.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
then
fair.
like I was supposed to like get like daughters or not daughters, sisters of battle ready.
Mhm.
And then my mom just randomly had a day off, so we went to look at starting to carpet my basement.
Oh, okay.
So that was worth it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a
Uh,
game tomorrow against Eric with the new book, with the new Nighthaunt book.
oh,
And a
nice.
little
Very nice.
treat at the end of the show is I have the list I'm gonna play
Ah, there we go.
ready. Yep. And I'm very excited to show that off. And it's so my it's a meme list. Let me put it that way. But my logic is you got to see if the memes are dreams when the book is
Yes.
new, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so that'll be
Because
exciting and fun.
what if it actually is really good and not just a meme?
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I'm so excited for this book.
Good.
And overall, like I think it blew my expectations out of the water.
That's awesome.
And we were so close to right in our Arena of Shades review.
We really were, weren't
Yeah.
we? Well, that was mostly you. Okay, 95% you,
You know
but
what
that's
though?
okay. Who's
We're in this
counting?
together.
Hell yeah.
Bill, my hetero life, man. When I fail, you fail too on this show. And when I succeed, we succeed.
We succeed.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We're in this together. Yeah. I bet that's how it is a lot of these shows that are like two people, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's definitely like a main and then like the support cast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
And I think that's good even.
I know my role in life. I get it.
Yeah, you're the carry.
Yeah. Something like
All right, yeah, let's give it a few more minutes doing some
that.
painting here. Um oh, actually, you know what's interesting too is we didn't get the scripter mortis either.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and
Well, slightly interesting. That might just be they didn't bother taking a picture because it was exactly the damn same.
yeah, I was thinking that too, but then like every other unit from Arena of Shades kind of changed.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Like the War Scrolls?
a little bit, yeah. So
Ooh.
like I think it's still gonna have the shitty random rule that we hate,
Yeah,
but like I don't know. It's probably exactly the same.
probably.
But yeah, like actually the Spirit Torment got a huge buff, I think,
Oh, cool.
from already being a huge buff.
Yeah, I mean, we can hope that it's different
Yeah.
because that seemed like that War Scroll was like a real nice shelf piece.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because like I hear people talk about like these kind of things like being fun units. It's like, oh, you don't know what's gonna happen, but I think there has to be like a certain level of good, at least for me, in order for it to hit
Yeah,
the fun threshold too.
like I honestly just don't find that terribly fun because it's when you make the game so swingy, it's like I don't know.
Well, there's
That's
also the
not as fun.
scenario too where like it works exactly perfectly for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like, oh, I lost to random. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, fucking
that's
awesome.
exactly my point.
Yeah.
Like it's either just bad and you're gipping yourself real hard,
Hmm.
or it works as expected, and then your opponent's like, "Well, that fucking sucks."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And like, I know we're spikes, but
yeah. I suppose that's not everyone's take on it.
yeah. I don't know though, because I think that's just like an unfun thing in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, like I don't know. I wonder if people are like very stoked for that. I'm sure there's somebody out there like who has three of these and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's not random if it's extra redundant."
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
that's an interesting thought. I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Can you judge a character more than once
No.
with the same? Okay, I didn't think you could.
No. But yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to that subfaction section.
Yeah,
But I heard some meme lists going around with that seemed kind of funny.
with the scripter torment,
Yeah, Scriptor Mortis. Yep.
we're just
Mm-hmm.
they're all the same words. It's just
Yeah, I could say the same about like Stormcast too, where it's just like I'm a
Oh,
judicator, I'm a this, yeah, a
if you meant that
prosecutor.
to be like, I could say it about your army too. No, I agree.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's called theming, Bill.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, right?
I mean, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm very excited. Leadgeists, I got a bunch more coming because people are very down on them on a Arena of Shades. They were dirt cheap. So if you can't find them on eBay anymore, I'm part of the problem.
Because you snatched all of them instantly.
I snatched three of them, which is a lot, but
But hey, worth, right?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, so do you think this weekend's gonna be the weekend they're announced for pre-order?
Right. I've been thinking that every week for the past like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
I hope
Hopefully,
so. Yeah.
we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Because I think I'll play this next game coming up off my phone, but I don't want to keep doing that.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I like having the book so much.
Well, I guess I don't mind playing off the phone, but I wouldn't want to be playing off of
Like
like
PDFs. Yeah,
yeah,
from like potato cams.
yeah, exactly. No thanks.
Yeah. But exactly one time, maybe twice. We'll see.
Yeah, once or twice isn't
Mm-hmm.
so bad. Just to get a feel for it.
You know what one of the best part about Nighthaunt is too?
What's that?
Quick to paint.
Yeah, you just fucking slap that shit on.
Yeah, they're one of the fastest armies I did. It's a lot of like little drive, or at least for me, little drive rushing. And then
Yep.
there's like the primum white, and then just put like neolock oxide all over them, and then drive rush white for that like ghost look too.
Yep.
That's a
Yeah,
popular
there's so
one.
many ways you can just get a
Yeah.
pretty nice looking army in just like fucking no time.
You notice that like a lot of the sub factions were like color based too. It's like the Emerald Host, the Scarlet Doom, the Quicksilver Dead.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's just
that's
like
totally true.
pick your favorite color to like dry brush.
And
Here we
just
go.
there you go.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's begin with this exciting book.
All right.
Okay, so first off, I did a little overview here. So, what I think is good about this army, where I think its weaknesses are, let's start with the obvious extremely powerful allegiance abilities,
Hmm.
right?
Oh yeah.
We'll get into a little bit more about that, but it looks like they have good charge bonuses. They're pushing MSU. Pretty good defenses, I'd say. The army's extremely fast, high mobility. They're the most of them are 8-inch move fly. I think a couple of them are like 12, but I think 8 is the minimum.
Yeah, I don't think I saw anything lower.
Yeah, which a lot of stuff was 6 in the old book.
Yep.
So like that's up. Also, they have army-wide fallback and charge, which is huge as far as
Yeah.
this mobility thing goes. Um, I would say all of the sub factions have play, or at least are interesting to very good. And I'd say that there's like some pretty cool command traits and relics in there. But I think a lot of the core enhancements are a little bit better. But I think there's some play there that are cool. Some
But
interesting
not bad.
builds. Yeah. Strong. Yeah. Ward saves that can get stronger. Um, you can build a list with high mortal wound output, but that's not going to be every list, I would think.
Hmm.
And strong heroes with high rend that can get absurd rend with luck.
Yep.
Some of the strengths. Some of the weaknesses. War scrolls are pointed high. I think everything looks a little expensive for its war scroll because of how good these allegiance abilities are,
Yeah,
which
it's
makes
like
them terrible allies.
yeah, it's like the it's definitely a book that was relying on its allegiance abilities more than some others.
Hmm. I don't think terrible allies is necessarily a weakness of the book, and yeah, that's fine. Like play with your own
Yeah.
toys, right? And a lot of stuff is like
Exactly.
restricted to being just Nighthaunt instead of like allied units, which I think that we're gonna see that a lot more everywhere too. So like I
I
think
think
it's
so
fine.
too. Yeah,
It's just good
I
to
agree.
point out too.
Hmm.
But I think when you look at some of the war scrolls in a vacuum, you're gonna be like, oh, all right, why? And then you think about what the allegiance does, you're like, okay, I get it, but
Yeah,
seems high.
but no, no, no. Yep. There's
Yeah,
definitely some that are well. There's a couple that you're like, nope, still no.
that's actually
But
the next bullet too. Is like we have a few
oh,
war scrolls that are absolute stinkers.
yep.
Yeah, terrible. And the last bullet point is like we have a very good spell lore in this book, but a lot of them are like high casting values, like sevens, and we don't have many wizards in this army with pluses. The
Yeah.
only two naturally are Nagash and Reikenor.
And you can also use the
Incarnate.
incarnate, this bad boy.
Yep. Yeah, you can, and we'll talk a little bit more too, because I think he does a lot more than just that for this army. I
Yeah.
still think he's very good for this army.
Yep.
All right, cool. Next slide. The battle traits. So you get to pick a procession, and then some heroes are locked to a specific procession, but you can bring them in. So, for example, all of them have like the Grieving Legion keyword. You can bring them in the Scarlet Doom or the Emerald Host, but they can't benefit from the procession rules. Where I think that matters 0% of the time.
Is there nothing?
Well, because they're all like buff a specific unit
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they
or
really do nothing.
debuff the enemy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so like it doesn't matter if they can get them or not.
That's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, so but it's there just in case.
Yep.
There's 4 of them. First rule. This one's gonna be hard to evaluate, but I think it's very good. Aura of Dread. So when a Nighthaunt unit is within 3 inches of an enemy unit, the enemy unit is terrified. What does terrified mean? It means that they cannot issue or receive the Inspiring Presence command ability. I think this is gonna be one that like catches people off guard like for years to come, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
they're just gonna be like,
You
all right,
just
I can use this
always
unit.
assume you have that, and it's like, no, you don't.
Yep.
It's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. There's some
Yep.
armies that care a lot more about this than others.
Yep.
Oh, also Nighthaunt don't get frightened. It looks like this ability has no effect on Nighthaunt.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's gonna be a funny thing to like be like, oh, I got you. You can't do battle strikes. Like, oh, I'm a Nighthaunt. I can. Oh, in like a mirror match situation. But yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like it makes sense. I'm not a huge fan of like restricting, like based on like the army you're playing. But I think
Yeah.
this is not like that egregious because it goes both ways, you know.
I think they maybe do some things for the sake of um like not 1v1, like 2v2
Oh
as
yeah,
well. And I think they think about that a little bit more than we ever do.
that might
And
be
maybe they
true.
wanted it to be like a downside to playing other armies with them, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it says enemy unit.
Oh, it does say enemy unit.
Yeah,
Oh, in that case, never mind.
yeah. Well, I was right on board with you until I reread it. You know,
Yep.
check the tapes, I guess. Yeah. All right. A good rule though. I think that's gonna be backbreaking to some armies
Yeah.
and like not at all to others. But I think overall, like, there's gonna be an effect there, even
Man,
on like
OCR
elite
are
stuff.
gonna
Yeah.
OCR are gonna crumble from that, huh?
Uh huh. Maybe in the next book that'd be really funny. They got rid of
Maybe.
the the bravery rule. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, but then they would still need to be able to use Inspiring Presence, which they can't.
Oh yeah. You're right. Okay.
It's super not relevant in multiple ways.
That's really funny. You're absolutely right. I didn't even think of that. All right, what's the next one here? Ethereal. So this one changed and didn't change. So everybody has a 6-up ward, which it used to be within 12 of a hero, but it's just you have it now.
That's good.
Big plus.
Yeah, I didn't catch on with that.
Yeah. Um, in addition, friendly Nighthaunt units can still retreat and charge in the same turn. Very powerful. Ignore modifiers, positive and negative, to save rolls for attacks that target friendly Nighthaunt. So, yeah, that little mobility and then like the freedom of the freedom to be away from your heroes, I think is pretty big. I think technically not being able to modify your saves is like weaker than being able to. Like I think Ethereal is more of a weakness than a strength, with the exception of this next command ability called Discorporate, which you target a friendly Nighthaunt and they get a 5-up ward instead of a 6-up ward.
Actually, I think I disagree with you.
Yeah,
I think rend is more common than buffs, and you normally are using the buffs to like offset rend and what have you.
Okay, yeah.
I that's my opinion.
It's
I don't
hard to
know.
say.
I could be wrong. It's hard to say. Yeah.
So I think when you're looking at a 4-up unrendable versus like some of the armies have like 3-up and then you save stack to Oblivion and then you get like a 3-up, 2-up unrendable, that's where it looks a lot worse.
I think you have to compare it more with like other 4-up save units though.
You're
I
probably right.
suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll concede that then. But yeah, like, well, I guess the point is here is that it felt terrible to not have like a all-out defense, and now we do. So it's
It's
great.
true.
Yep,
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's a great rule, a great little filter. Um, we don't have anything for like best day ever for the +1 save part of that. So I wonder if like this is missing a page of like a special heroic action or something like that. Probably
See.
not. We probably don't need it either, but that was just a thought I had.
Hmm.
Overall, good shit right there. Wave of Terror. This is the meat here. So after a friendly Nighthaunt unit finishes a charge move, you can look up the unmodified charge roll for the charging unit on the Wave of Terror table below. Pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of that Nighthaunt unit, then apply the relevant effect from that table to that enemy unit. If you prefer, you could pick an effect lower for pick an effect for a lower unmodified charge roll. For example, if you rolled an 8, you could pick Shriek instead of Stun. I don't know why
You
you
know.
do that, but you could.
Oh no. So you know what's funny is I was seeing that and um I didn't notice that last bit ability at first, and I'm like, man, it would really suck to get two 10-inch charges because then you
Oh
know,
yeah, then it doesn't do anything. Yep.
and then it doesn't do anything the second time because they're already fighting last. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. That's a weird interaction. And then I saw that, and I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
This is actually just awesome.
This is awesome. Yeah, like
Yeah.
GW looked out for us this time for
Yep.
sure. But yeah, so what are the effects? So on a 4 to 7, you give it the enemy unit -1 to hit. On an 8 to 9, you subtract 1 from save rolls from that unit, which that's huge.
Uh-huh.
And then on a 10 up, you give the thing strike last. So like the old Wave of Terror was like on a 10 up, you got basically 2 combats with a unit, and I didn't like that because it seemed like really fun at first, and then like you realize it doesn't happen that often, and then it's like a real feel bad when it does happen for your opponent. It was just like stressful. I think this is a
Yeah, it's
more
like
like middle
every
of the road.
charge, you're like, oh god, am I just gonna lose the game right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think this is a much better way to handle that. And like
I
-1
agree.
save is like really powerful. And
Oh
if you
yeah.
like dogpile somebody with a bunch of units. Yeah, so
Yeah,
also
I guess the thing to point out is that it doesn't look like there's a reason you can't use the same ability on the same person twice.
yeah, the designer note says an enemy unit can be affected multiple times by Wave of Terror effects, as long as each effect is applied by an unmodified charge roll for a different charging Nighthaunt unit.
Yep.
So like it sounds like to me, and maybe an FAQ will say no, that like you could just stun. Yeah, if you get like 3 units in there, you could like stun multiple times. Granted,
Sure seems like it.
it's the only one that like really stacks because like you can't get more than -1 to hit.
Yeah.
But if you give it
I,
-2, like it can't all out attack anymore
right.
out of it, right? Like that's pretty big.
Yep.
Yeah, like
You're gonna do it if it's the
mhm.
only thing you can do. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think with like 3 units, you have a pretty good chance of like getting the strike last too, and then all of them fight before that thing does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
That's very powerful.
we have some math on the next slide for this, but let's finish the allegiance abilities before we get to that. Frightful Touch. Bill, we were right, but let's read it. The
Well, kind of.
unmodified hit roll for an attack made by a friendly Nighthaunt unit is 6. That attack wounds the target automatically. Okay, we were kind of right
Yeah.
in our arena
It's
days.
pretty significantly worse, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
depends. It depends.
So, mathematically, if the thing that you're fighting doesn't get a save against your attack, it's exactly the same, right?
Correct.
And then the chances of that, probably not great because there's not a ton of high rend in this army.
Yeah.
But if you get real lucky with those charges, right?
You could do it.
then
Yeah.
hypothetically, yeah.
Yeah.
So like you have to do extra homework for your 6s to mortal wounds. But also another thing too that the design teams talked about in the past, and I think is like pretty common, is that 6s to mortal wound are extremely swingy, right? And
Yeah.
I think ideally the number that they would want is on on a 12-sided dice. On a 12 you get a mortal wound, right? And we see like attempts to like make this happen in the Nurgle book, where it's like the disease point system.
Yep.
Yeah, and like those books still like are good. Like Nurgle's winning tournaments. Like that's still like impactful damage. So like we're
Oh,
trying to hit their like 6s are a half mortal wound. And like I think this is approaching that territory.
it's getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's another effect that isn't as swingy.
right.
Yeah.
And like I think there's gonna be times where this matters a lot more than it seems like on first. Because I think it seems not good. But again, we have math on the next slide to talk about this a little more. But yeah, I think it's fine.
It amounts to what did we say? Like 1/12 of your rolls are going to be hits that are going to wound that wouldn't otherwise.
It depends, right? Because if you're winning on a 2-up, that's true, right?
Oh yeah, I guess I was assuming a 4-up.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Because like
Yeah, I was assuming a 4-up. Yeah.
yes.
If it's a 2-up to wound or something like that, it does almost nothing.
Right, okay, yeah. So assuming a 4-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's a 1 in 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is exactly
So,
the math they were going for, yeah.
yeah.
And then the last ability, this one's super interesting. The end of your deployment, before determining control and objective, you remove up to 3 friendly Nighthaunt units from the battlefield. Place them to one side to be set up in ambush as a reserve unit. At the end of your movement phase, you can set one or more in the reserve on the battlefield, more than 9 from friend or enemy units. So like you have to full commit and then you deep strike.
Which is
That's weird, right?
it's weird, but I think it's better assuming you were only got deep strike 3 anyway.
Which it's probably yeah. That's probably
Because
where
you
you're
get
at.
to
Yeah.
because you get to like see their full deployment ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
and then figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
And like in like worst case, like you might think, oh, but I might deploy something in like the wrong spot, and then there's like a hole in my line or something like that. But like with deep strike, like if you already know, you can already just say, I know I'm going to deep strike these guys and put them over to the side.
Yeah.
And just like nowhere in range or whatever, and you're still fine in the same deal.
All right. You know what happens a lot too to me when I play
What's that?
is I commit my threats down and then the other person commits a bulk of their threats.
Yep.
That are like kind of slow, close to them, and then I can just be like, nah, son.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what this ability does.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Which is like different than deep strike.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I was saying it's just like it's strictly better.
Yeah, I agree.
Assuming you were only going to deep strike 3.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair trade-off too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I fucking love that. That being said, though, I don't love this if you're like, I want to run a unit of 30 chain rasp hordes, and then you want to like deep strike them. Like that's a lot of homework.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, that does kind of suck
you're
for that.
probably not doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's a hard thing to fit off of reserves. Like, and it's another reason why I think this book pushes for like MSU a little bit.
It definitely does.
Yeah. And I think there's like a horde, like maxed out units that they wanted you to build for, but they kind of missed the mark on. But we'll talk about that as we go through the allegiance ability, or like the processions and command traits and stuff. But yeah, overall, very strong suite of abilities, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then this next slide, we have math. So Wave of Terror. With 1 unit charging, you have a 96 or 91% chance of giving them -1 to hit on a 4-up, right? If you have 2 units, it's like 99.3. And if you have 3 units charging, you have like a 100%, 99.94% chance of giving the enemy unit
Basically, if you're
-1.
charging, you're probably gonna get this one.
Yeah. So even like even if like there were like the Allegiance said, whenever this unit charges, the enemy unit gets -1 to hit. Like that's good, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And then yeah, so assuming you can stack negative saves, which it looks like you clearly can. So what I did was like a little graph here of like chances of getting a 8 up with 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, and the chances of getting 1 8, 2 8, or 3 8, right?
Yep.
So 1 unit charging, you have about a 41, well, you have exactly a 41.66% chance of getting an 8 or higher, which is so like a little under 50%, like to get extra rend on the charge. That's good.
Mhm.
If you have 2 units, that goes up to 65, almost 66%. Great. And if you have 3 units, it's 80%. And like,
Very likely at that point.
yeah. And like that's not super hard to do. Like you get 2 units and then like a support hero in there.
Mhm.
And then you like sandwich the support hero between your 2 units to make it very difficult to pile into to keep them safe.
Yeah, it like gives you a reason
Yeah.
to want to charge the support heroes and stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then even there's a there's a chance too that like one of those. Let's skip down to the graph below too, because if you have 3 units charging, there's a 42% chance that one of those will give a 10 up, which will give the fight last. So that means that whole block can fight before your opponent gets to fight.
Interesting thing is, if you do take the 10 up, you have to give up one of the minuses to save.
Yep.
So it's actually not like totally clear cut what you pick.
Yeah. You know, it's like if you think you can kill it with 1 unit combat with your
Mhm.
-3 rend alleged.
Or if let's just say you're charging with just 1 unit and no one else is in combat,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even want to pick the 10. You'd want to pick the 8.
Yep. Which is cool that you have that option too. Yeah, that's well designed. But yeah,
Or you might even pick the 4 if it's like you know, I don't know. I could see an instance where you might want to do that. Like let's say they hit on 4 ups and bringing them to 5s is
oh
like
yeah, and
right.
then it's just embarrassing for them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, I can dig that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so and then the chances of getting -2 rend off on this. Let's see. So if you have 2 units charging and you want both of them to give the rend, or yeah, the -1 save rather, that's a 17% chance, 17.36, which that's not great. But if you have 3 units there, you have a 37.61% chance of that same outcome, which gets a lot. That's 1 in
It's
3.
it's like
That's
a little better than 1 in 3.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's not terrible. It's not great, but like it's not terrible either. But
Right.
like even the -1 rend is like pretty good. But like also think about it for like a second too. Like -2 rend on everything that charged there. Like if you have like a -1 rend, like you're suddenly swinging with like a unit of 10 with rend 3.
Yep.
Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's so much damage. Okay, yeah. And then if you want all 3 of your units to get an 8 up to give the -3, that's a 7.23% chance of doing that.
You'll get it every once in a while, and it'll be like, "Oh my god." Although I think at that point you just make them fight last and get the -2.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, like that's good.
Mhm.
And then the last one down here, this little graph is the frightful touch. And so I did a little bit of math, and it looks like the better your 2 wound is, the worse this allegiance ability gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for example, if you're wounding on a 6 up for some reason, this accounts to a 13.88% extra wounds. But like,
Well, it makes sense because it You basically are saying, instead of rolling the dice, all you're basically saying you roll the dice and you're getting a 1-up. You have a
Yes.
1-up to wound, right?
Yeah.
If you compare that with a 2-up to wound, not too much different. But if it was like it goes from a 6-up to a 1-up, that's pretty big difference.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if they don't have any save tier attack, this is the same damage increase that 6s to hit are mortal wounds too.
Yeah,
And
the only difference being that um that they get a save still.
right, exactly. Yeah. And then for each point of save they get, it decreases its number by 16%. I didn't bother to do that because I think that's kind of like superfluous information at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
there's like a hero in here that has a rend 3. There's like a bunch of rend 2. And like if you get like the extra rend or the extra 2 rend, like it's pretty like it's possible that like you're ignoring their save.
Right?
So
Yep.
like it's like what I'm saying, like the Frightful Touch is like almost what it was, not quite. But it's also army wide, so I guess we'll take it. It's good. It's good. It's a thing.
Yeah. It'll do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next slide.
It's certainly better than not having it.
Command traits. This is the weakest part of the book, in my opinion. But let's talk about some of these. We'll start with the good one. Ignex is Lingering Spirits. The general has a ward of 4 up for damage inflicted by mortal wounds.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what the Amulet of Destiny should have been, by the way. Also,
totally
Ignex's
agree.
skills. Yep.
Yep.
Like that saw plenty of play when it was a thing in second edition, and I don't see why you wouldn't take this one frequently. For that reason, like I think it's great. Also, like your support heroes getting mortal wound shotted off is like a thing you're afraid of. Like this is there you go, problem solved for the most part. The there is a unit in this book that diminishes the value of this, but you might not bring that unit, so like it's an option and that's good now instead of just like the one you take. But we'll get to that when we talk about the battle line and stuff too. Hatred for the living. Oh no, terrifying entity. Let's do that. So enemy units are terrified if they're within 6 inches of this general instead of 3 inches, for the purposes of the aura dread.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I could see that not mattering at all, or I could see that actually being pretty good, especially with the Banshee hero.
Yeah, wait a second. Actually, does that even do anything?
Within 6 inches?
Yeah.
Hmm.
How do you make that work actually? Now I'm curious.
What do you mean?
So that's the one where they can't get inspiring presence, right?
Yeah.
So generally speaking, if you're going to take a morale test, it's because you're in combat.
Yeah, they're in combat with a different unit.
Yeah, but that other unit
Already terrified it.
is already terrified because it's near a Nighthaunt unit.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I can see 2 ways it could possibly happen.
With the crossbows.
One, well, yes and no. You still need to get him within range, kind of, and also not charge, which is kind of not charge, and you shoot them. It feels like a lot of setup for like not too much.
Yeah.
And then the other option is your unit fully dies, but that guy is still within 6 inches, but not in combat with them, which also feels a bit weird. Like maybe
there's a hero that has something in the shooting or at the beginning of the charge phase that gets better if the thing's terrified. So I think it's for that guy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We'll talk about that later, but yeah, it's pretty niche. I probably won't take this, maybe ever.
Yeah.
But like, there's somebody who might for that reason.
Yeah, I could see like especially if there's like an ability that kind of works off of it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't know. This one feels pretty niche to me and pretty hard to use.
Pretty niche.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get this band-aid off right here. Ruler of the Spectral Hosts. So this guy is a once per battle. At the beginning or at the end of your movement phase, you can pick one friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit that has been destroyed. And after you pick that, and roll a dice. On a 4-up, a new replacement unit with with half the models from that unit. Let me start over. On a 4-up, a new replacement unit with half of the models from the unit that was destroyed, rounding up, is added to your army. Set it up wholly within 12 inches of this general and more than 3 from enemies. Oh my god. Like, that's so frustrating to me. Like, this makes
And
me
they make it a
so mad.
4-up.
They made it a 4-up.
Yep.
But like it's also like too good. Like assuming if this always happened, this is too good. Like within 3 inches. Like that's fucking absurd. So they're like, oh, we have to make this fair. Oh, 4-up. Okay. No. It's like, so now
Oh
I'm
wait, you
taking
get to put that within 3 inches, don't you?
yes.
Wait, when does this happen? What
End of the
phase do you
movement
do it?
phase.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
Oh my
it's
god.
a 4-up. Nothing happens. You wasted your command. Yeah, 50%
Yeah.
chance of a wasted command trait or a command trait that's too good.
Yeah.
Could have this just been like normal deployment range and just worked?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know.
Like that makes me so mad. Stop doing this. Oh, if you have an ability that you think is too good for it to automatically work, and then your solution to it is just
Make it work half the time?
yeah, throw
No.
it out the window. Try again.
Yeah.
Also, like I want to give you in mind if it was like worded so that you got to roll every turn, and once it happened once, it was done. Right? Like
Yeah.
that could have been
That's a good point.
interesting. And then that
Yeah.
could have been like, all right, it's hero hunting time. And like there could have been like a sub game around like keeping your general safe from these psychopaths who are trying to kill him when he's just trying to bring his homies back. Right? Like but no, you
Yeah.
just made it this stupid. And it's like I'm tempted to take that because that effect is so fucking good.
Yep.
And then like, stop it. This is terrible.
I know. That's because it's like it basically reads that you should have a 30-man unit of something of your best guy,
Whatever hammer
right?
you want it to be, yep.
Yeah, whatever one you want it to be. You charge in, you blow something up, and half the time you win the game.
Yeah. And then like they have to
That's
deal with it, so they spend like a tremendous amount of resources dealing with it. And
exactly.
then you just get half of it back in like 3 inches. You can charge whatever you want. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, like okay. This isn't gonna get better the more we complain about it, but they could have
No.
thought about this a little bit more. This is
Yep.
so upsetting to me. Moving on, Patron of the Living. Reroll hits and wound rolls for attacks made by melee weapons for this general that targets an enemy unit that does not have the death keyword. Like reroll hits and wounds is pretty strong. If you're the
Why
death
does
player
it
in your
turn
group,
off?
huh?
Yeah. Why does it turn off when it's
Because it doesn't hate
against
them.
stuff?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, I see it lore wise, but like,
Mm-hmm. But like
but
this is
that
what I'm
means,
talking about. Like those like
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know why. All
Yeah,
right.
you don't get it either. And also like we don't really have anything that's like really hammery enough in the hero slot to like really benefit from this. Like the
Mhm.
most we have is like a guy with 5 attacks. Like
Yeah.
that's fine. This seems like a path to glory command trait, right? Like you're
Yeah.
fighting against your friends like Stormcast, and you're like, ooh, we're playing like 600 points, and my like Lord Executioner is gonna reroll hits and wounds against all of you, and he's gonna be hilarious, right?
Yeah.
2K? No, pass.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Some of this stuff, I suppose, isn't designed with us in mind.
Sure, and like honestly, that's fine because like I think there's like even if all 6 of these were good, there'd still be a best one.
Yeah.
So like put it for like a lower point game. Like I think this is perfectly acceptable for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like honestly, yeah. That one and like the other abilities that don't work on like specific things but work otherwise, those are probably actually fine. They really just aren't designed for like a player like players like us
Yeah.
that like are like, why did this just turn off randomly in my tournament against my opponent that I
Yep.
happen to randomly get?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
like probably well north of 95% of games are that. You know who you're facing. You're just not going to take it if you're facing them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And then it's
exactly.
just like, I don't know. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
what
I
it
think
is.
I like this for
It just
Path to
feels weird.
Glory for sure, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's not your competitive pick. But like
right,
that
yeah,
being said, Ruler of the Spectral Host is not good in Path to Glory either. That's just a feel bad game, no matter what happens with that.
yes,
Two
yes, yes.
more. Oh,
Well, okay, it's not really if you in Path to Glory if you don't have reinforced units, right? Like let's say you're all just MSU and you get back like 5 guys from
that's a great
something,
point too. Like, because even like the way
doesn't feel as bad.
the book's designed to want you to be MSU with the charging, the Wave of
Yeah,
Terror, right?
yeah,
So like on a 4-up, you get 5 guys back normally. Like, okay,
yeah. It's
that's
like,
my
and then
command
that
trait.
doesn't. Yeah,
Oh
and then
well.
it's like, well, I'm probably not picking that, but yeah, like okay. It's kind of like the Sequiturs, right?
Yeah,
Where
but they fixed
I
that in
got
the
it
new
every
book,
time.
right?
I shouldn't have, but that's
Yeah.
okay. No, that's not in the new book. Yeah.
Well, no, but like there's the holy command that gets you back a minimum unit once per game without a roll.
Oh yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
could have been
Oh, that's
that.
true. Yeah, it absolutely could have been
Yeah, and
that.
like it would have been
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Oh, fuck this. Anyway, 2 more to
Oh,
go. Spiteful
all
Spirit.
right.
The end of combat phase, if this general is allocated any wounds that were not negated during this phase, you can roll a dice equal to the wound characteristic of this general. For each 4-up, enemy units within 6 inches of this general suffer 1 mortal wound. Well, so there's like a build you can
That,
do with one of the characters because they have like a wound characteristic that scales up if they kill stuff, and like that's kind of funny. That just seems
so
way
wait,
too cute though, rather than actual good.
I don't even know if I understood what that even said. That just seemed like a pile of words
All
to
right,
me.
let me break it down for you. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so general took damage. It wasn't negated. He's alive.
Okay.
Then you roll equal to his wound characteristic. Knight of Shrouds, for example, has 6 wounds, right? So he took
Yeah.
damage. At the end of the combat phase, roll 6 dice. For each 4-up, each enemy unit within 6 inches takes a mortal wound.
Okay. So if he took damage, Slaneshi style,
Yeah.
then he rolls the number of dice equal to his wound characteristic. You said.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I follow.
Yep. And then yeah, there's a hero that wounds characteristic scales up as it kills models.
Oh, okay. I see what that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like a fun little thing there,
Yeah, there's a thing there.
and like
Yeah.
I think it's cute. I don't think it's good. I
Yeah,
think it's a
that's yeah.
meme, but I think like they're gonna have lists where it's fun, and it might also be like it's because like it's really easy to kill a 6 wound hero, right? So like you could just ignore this and be like, all right, I'm gonna kill that. But it's also
Yeah.
like a thing that probably has to get answered, or else it gets out of hand.
I mean, it's also kind of thing where like if you can charge in like a certain way and like force them to because they have to fight, like force them to have to put attacks into it, but not like too many.
Yeah.
Like keep it with other guys.
Mm-hmm.
I could see maybe it
Yeah.
doing something. I don't know. It
Yeah.
feels like it's difficult to proc though.
And if you want to put good money after bad, you flaming skull into your poor guy.
Oh, that feels
That's terrible, I
awful.
know, but like
Yeah,
somebody's like, bro, you could do that.
you could do it.
Yeah, you
It'd be so
absolutely
much
can.
fun. Don't let your
Mm-hmm.
memes. Don't let your memes be dreams.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Yeah. Anyway, that's one of those things, though. I feel like somebody's gonna do something insane in the tournament with, and we're gonna be like, "Oh, how'd they do that?" And it's just gonna be the perfect storm rather than actually being good.
Yeah, it certainly could be.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'm excited to see somebody try.
Yep.
Last one. This one's cool. Cloaked in Shadow. General cannot be picked as the target of a shooting phase or a combat phase more than once per phase.
Whoa, that is really cool.
I don't see. I'm a little like I think it's really cool. I think it's a cool, fun design space.
Yeah.
I think though, it's not good enough.
Okay.
And the reason is because like I'm trying to think of like what are the like because you I think it's mostly to protect them from the shooting phase. And then like what are the main shooting threats right now? We got like the long strikes that are probably doing like 12 damage in one shooting phase
Yep.
that with one unit. And we got like the Lumineth archers who are doing that, the dragons who are doing that, the snake archers who might not be doing that anymore. Oh, actually, yeah, they probably could still do that. We'll see how that book turns out, but I think a lot of stuff does more than 6 damage in one shooting phase, and I don't think this actually protects your general from like the main shooting threats. Or if you like
That's
charge them
true.
into melee, like I don't think you're ever getting more than one enemy unit in melee with him unless it's like double hero,
Unless you want to like sacrifice your general.
right? Yeah.
But you could like maybe like charge a bunch of stuff, like 3 things. Like say you're going first in the battle round, right?
Yeah.
You charge like 3 different things under the assumption that any one of them can't kill you, right? And then they're all locked up the next turn.
Yeah.
Because like they either have to retreat, but they can't charge you now.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe there's something there. It could
It's
be fun.
that seems like one of those abilities to me. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. That 9 out of 10 times it's not going to matter, and then like one time that it matters, it's going to win you the game.
Barrel could be.
Yeah.
But that feels more like a skill play rather than like just a whoops, the dice went my way. Cool.
Um.
So like it might be more fun if it wins you the game that time.
It's a punish, right? I think more than a skill play because I
Hmm.
think like the impetus isn't on you to build that situation because I don't think you can build it. But I think you can see where that situation happens, capitalize on it, and punish your opponent for not noticing that you could do that to them. If that makes sense. Which is skill
Oh
too,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's a thing you can't set up, is all I think.
I think there are a lot of times where you can get multiple units are next to each other in such a way that this could work.
So I
I
think this is like good enough for me to like when I play from now on, like I'm gonna keep note of that in the back of my head. Like if my
yeah.
general had cloaked in shadows, what could I have done in this turn
Yeah.
to do? Like I think it's worth it keeping that information up. I think there's like something here, but like I think this is variable based on what the meta stuff is right now. And
Could
like
be.
if there's ever a point where like the big meta shooters just like disappeared overnight and all it was like pot shot shooters or like MSU shooters, like I don't like I think this stonks, right? Like it's overnight is a very good command trait.
Mhm.
I think right now at this moment I'm not. It's a niche pick. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it has. I don't know if it's better than what exists, but I think there. I would, if I was playing it, I think I would try it out a few times to like see how much play it really had.
Yeah, I'm not ready to
Because I'm
write it
actually
off
not
yet.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I think it feels like there's some fun interactions you could have there, and maybe it's just not good enough and doesn't do enough. But I don't know. Maybe it does.
I think it's not there just because of what the meta is. I think this is a meta call item,
Okay,
which is
I gotcha.
I think good even.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I think you like those in your books.
yeah, definitely.
Overall, I think Master of
Fair.
Magic might be your best command trait still.
Yeah, fair.
Um, but yeah, the Ignax scales one, the Lingering Spirits, yeah. I'm not super impressed with these,
But
but
I
there's
think
some
that's okay.
interesting things. Yeah, of course. But yeah, the as long as the generic ones are good, we don't need these to be good. But like they're cool
Exactly.
if they
And if
are.
they're like meta picks or like, work well with like a certain list or something, I think that's where you want them to be. You don't want it to be like have nots again.
Yeah,
Like that's what I've always liked about like having reasonably powerful like generic ones is that it leads to not having the have nots. But if there's like, one of your own that like you can make work really cool, like
yeah.
that's a good thing.
And like I think Ruler of the Spectral Host is one of those where it's like it could have been built in a way that like it incentivized a different kind of list building, but then they made it random for no reason.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like that's what makes it extra sad to me too. It's
Because
like
it could have been really cool.
it's like this could have been like, oh, the whole book wants you to do MSU, but this is like your payoff for doing horde units,
Right.
and then it's just not there, or 50% of the
It's just
time it's not
not.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
well.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll stop harping on that. That's getting old, I bet. Um, so we have 3 sections of relics, weirdly, and every hero can take all of these, but they're divided into 3 sections, so I don't get it.
That makes no sense, but
Yep.
okay.
All right, first one, Cloak of the Waxing Moon. Subtract 1 from attack characteristics of melee weapons that target the bearer to a minimum of 1. Like that's kind of cool, right?
Reduce the attack characteristic?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
problem
that
is
seems very good.
I mean, like the problem is like we don't have this on like a monster hero, right? So like the one thing you'd want to put it is like on a big like distraction card effects, but like the best thing we could put it on is something with like 6 wounds, 5 wounds, you know,
Yeah.
that like it's probably gonna die anyway too.
6
Oh
wounds, though, 4 up save, 5 up ward is not bad.
yeah, I don't think this is bad. I think I could be totally wrong too. Like the Niter Shrouds could be slapping, and we'll see. Maybe this
Ah,
helps
yeah.
your spiteful spirit build go
Mm.
right.
That was me not having any idea, but pretending I did.
That was the one that like if it took damage, it does mortal wounds on the
Oh, yeah,
4 up.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we're like, oh,
Yeah.
this thing might die in combat. This might be the thing that like keeps it alive.
It's
That
alive
might
and
be the
lets it do
build
its
here.
thing.
Yeah,
Ooh, that actually sounds like fun.
yeah.
Hmm.
I like it. Let's see. What's next? Pendant. Yeah, Pendant of the Fell Wind. This used to be like a bubble of a +1 or +3 to move. That's no longer. But what we got instead was it's a subtract 1 from wounds rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by enemy units that are within 3 inches of the bearer. I think that's great, though.
Oh my god, there seems like you can, like, if you could combo some of these together,
Yeah,
like, people aren't hitting you.
yeah. Like the debuff options are strong.
Yeah,
Like
they
maybe I
really
should
are.
have put that in the overview, but yeah. Like I have no problem with this relic, other than that there's other relics I want to take,
That's fair.
and that's like a good problem to have.
Oh man, like, can you imagine subtracting? Like, let's go back to the previous relic. Even
Yeah,
also, like, you
my.
charge them,
Mm-hmm.
and as long as you did roll a 3, you give them -1 to hit, and then also subtract 1 from their attack characteristics.
Yeah.
Like, you could tarp it pretty good with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you also obviously put on the thing that's if you take a damage, you start dealing mortal wounds back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there might be some play there.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, or what if you take the command trait? Here you go. Take the command trait that we were talking about. I think it was command trait of the one that they can only be targeted once
Yeah, that's
with
command
all
trait.
this other tar
Yep.
pitting.
Mm-hmm.
That could be real fun too.
Yeah. Like there's some combos here
Yep.
that I think are real good.
I agree.
All right. And then the last one on this page is the Midnight Tome. It's a once per battle. If the bearer attempts to cast a spell that would summon an endless spell, the spell is automatically cast with a roll of 12, and it cannot be unbound. This, all right. We talked about many times before how we are not high on endless spells.
Yep.
I think endless spells are a mostly failed mechanic in this game,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But like, if there's ever a point where they're like scrapped from the ground up to be actually worth something in this game, like I think they become very good.
Was that a once per game effect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I it's so interesting, right? But it's
Yeah,
not there because
but
like
like the cast on a 12 doesn't mean anything for any endless spell. So it's just like the fact that it's mostly unbindable.
yeah. Yeah, it's just the only reason I would ever take this is if like I had an Emerald Swarm build and I really, really wanted the Emerald Swarm.
Yeah,
But I
I feel
just
like you have to really want it though. Like,
yeah, and I think there's just better things
yeah,
in this book even than that.
yeah,
I don't
I
rate it, but
agree.
yeah. And like I think as long as like endless spells are just like 37 models that just say a variety of deal D3 mortal wounds for 80 points, like then
Yeah,
like this no. Like I think they need to be reworked. I think they need to not cost points. And I think
yep,
it's like a battalion reward or something. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think they're there at all.
Or even like in part of your spell lore and you pick it.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, I don't know
But
how you
just
do it.
something other than what they are.
Yeah.
Because yeah, costing points is just like it's really a killer for 'em.
Yeah.
Because
It's
there's
just
sometimes just spells that just do better things,
yeah,
and you have to
exactly.
pay points for those.
Yeah, like
It's
how
like what?
much better is Mystic Shield than any endless spell?
Like just so much better than every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yep. Oh well.
Yeah, we can safely move on that and say this is exceptionally bad because of the core rules of the game.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right.
Kind of no fault of its own. It does a powerful effect. It just is a totally meaningless powerful
Imagine
effect.
if it was any spell too. Like that would be cool.
Yeah. Yep. But no,
All
it's
right.
not.
This next section is relics that are weapons for your bearer. So that's kind of neat. Let's see. The first one is called Shadow's Edge. Um, and this is the first source of the book's FAQs, I think.
Uh-oh.
Pick one of the bear's melee weapons. If the unmodified wound roll for an attack made with that weapon is a 6, the attack inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target and the attack sequence ends. And then in parentheses, do not make a wound or save roll.
Well, yeah, no shit, you're not going to make a wound roll.
Yeah.
Or another wound roll.
Do they mean to say hit roll here? Because that's how it was in the old book. And also,
That,
if it's a wound roll, it's a complete non-bow with Frightful Touch.
yeah. Well, it's better than Frightful Touch, but at that
No,
point,
but if
but
your 6 to hit doesn't let you roll a wound roll, how are you going to get the 6 to wound?
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally, yeah.
What the hell is this?
I don't know.
This is so funny though. Like that reminder text that just like makes it unclear
Yeah,
to something that
it's
was
like
totally clear.
yeah, I thought I knew what was going on until you reminded me of something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like what the hell is this?
until you clarified it, I knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I don't know though. Like let's just assume for the sake of argument that it's like 6s to hit or D3 mortal wounds.
Okay.
And like you have like a 5 attack hero. Like all right, there's something there.
Yeah.
And you put this on your hatred of the living guy who's re-rolling everything now.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of something.
Yeah.
Um, well, I
Actually
don't
seems
think it's
pretty good.
yeah, exactly. So let's hope it's that, and then we can move on.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's not. Then oh well.
Yeah. Seems kind of bad.
Let's see. Reaper of Sorrows. Pick one of the bear's melee weapons. Before the bearer attacks with this weapon, pick one enemy unit within 2d6 of the bearer and roll 2d6. Don't make me test bravery. If the result is higher than the target's bravery, that weapon's red characteristic is -3 for attacks made against that unit until the end of that phase. The weapon's red characteristic is a -4 instead of a -3 if the target is terrified.
And they have made that just more complicated?
So I have a question, Bill. How are you in melee with this thing without them being terrified?
What the fuck? I couldn't even think that far ahead after all those words.
So it's like you just You get -4 bravery if you beat the. You get -4 rend if you beat their bravery. That's really what it is. That's it.
Oh, but make sure you roll the 2d6 to decide if you can even do it.
Yeah.
Because if they're in range.
And somebody's gonna try to argue that weapon's rend characteristic is -4 instead of -3 if it's terrified. So if I'm in melee with you, it's a -4 rend, right? Wrong. No, you have to beat the bravery. Don't be facetious. That you know how it works. It's not that.
Oh, I don't even know if I can comprehend what they were trying to do there.
All right, can we just say this is ipsum lorem and move on because this thing sucks? Because you have to beat bravery on a 2d6.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
let's just move on.
Yep. And then this one I think actually is pretty good. It's called Slitter, and it's when you pick the bearer to fight for the first time in a turn, before the bearer makes a pile-in move, you can pick one enemy model within 1 inch of the bearer and roll a dice. If it's greater than the model's wound characteristics, that model is slain. So normally I was never huge on these effects until 3rd edition, where you can like just pop unit leaders, and then so this is when they're selected to fight. You do this, so you do this before they issue command, so you can stop their all-out defense if you hit a unit leader with this.
Ooh,
Right?
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I just think killing unit leaders in general is pretty good.
Yeah.
Or I'm just like thinking of situations too where you're like fighting something with 3 wounds. You got a pretty good chance of just popping one right off the bat.
Yep.
And that's pretty like good for keeping your hero alive or even just like fighting back at all.
Yeah,
And then
for
like
sure.
you're forcing a bravery test at that point that they can't inspiring presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
Seems it.
Yeah. And then we got a few more, 5 more. And these are the Infernal Treasures, which are different than the other ones for some reason. Um, this one I really like. It's the Light Shard of the Harvest Moon. Once per battle, start of the combat phase, use it, push the button. If you do so, add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly Nighthaunt units, wholly within 12 inches of the bear until the end of the phase. So, like, you're incentivized to just, like, dogpile with a bunch of stuff here.
Mhm.
And then you have a button that says more attacks when you hit
More
the button.
text.
Yeah, like, this is great, right?
Button, more text.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. A little boring, but I think
That's
it gets
okay.
the job done.
Right.
Also, this one is really cool too. The Beacon of Nagashazar. So it's a once per battle in your hero phase. You can say the bearer will push the button. If you do so, you can return 1 slain model to each friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit on the battlefield.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I assume these don't actually say push the button, right?
It just says you can uh the bearer will call the souls of the lost to the beacon's light.
Yeah.
And then the other one is will release the baleful gloom of the light shard. Yeah.
Push the button.
Yeah, push the button.
Yep.
Yeah, do the thing. But yeah, like I think there's value in that like second one too. Because there's like a couple summonable units that have like 3 wounds, 2 wounds even. Or even like every unit if you're doing MSU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I like this.
So, if
Yeah.
you don't say those words, though, does it not work?
Which words?
The instead of push the button, whatever it says you have to say.
No, it works.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it says you have to say that, or
No.
else you don't get the effect. I'm just saying,
You can
Alex.
say the
Maybe
bearer will. I don't know.
yeah, it says you say the bearer will. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
you gotta say all the things.
Okay,
What they're
fine.
gonna do. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Are we
I'm just
playing
saying.
like unset?
You gotta commit these to heart. No more just push the button, Alex.
No, it's push the button.
Are you saying everyone just knows what you mean and you don't have to say the lore text?
I can say I'm activating the Beacon of Nagashazar. And it's fine.
Okay. I guess I'll let it go.
Yeah, I like that one. I think it's fine. We got 3 more. So the Soulfire Ring. At the end of the combat, you heal up to D6 wounds allocated to the bear if it slayed an enemy model this turn. And yeah, I don't know how I quite feel about that.
Healing D3 wounds.
D6.
D6.
Yeah,
I guess it depends on what you have in your army.
it seems solid, but yeah,
Yeah, it does.
I
Because
just
if you
don't.
kill anything, you heal.
Yeah,
Like that's pretty cool.
yeah, I don't hate it.
No, me either. I don't know if it's how often it's relevant. I don't know if it's better than just say like some of the more defensive ones that we saw at the beginning.
That's where my problem is, right?
Yeah,
It's like we have limited artifact space,
right.
but yeah, I kind of like it.
It doesn't seem like the worst. It seems like maybe there's like some fun thing you could do with it
Yeah,
eventually.
exactly.
Yeah. But
It's like,
maybe it's not immediately obvious or maybe not right now or something
mhm.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is the worst though. Covetous
Oh.
Familiar. Enemy units that finish a pile-in movement within 3 inches of the bear suffer one mortal wound after the move is made. All right, we can move on, right?
So they take a mortal wound.
Whenever they pile in, they take a mortal wound. That's it.
That's it.
That's the relic. And
Oh
then,
no, hang on. Ready?
yeah,
You take that command trait that I really love of, you know, you can only do it they can only fight once per phase,
mm-hmm.
right? Oh, but they can't be selected so they wouldn't pile in.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah,
Never mind. Damn.
yeah.
I was trying
You
with this
tried
one.
really hard. Yeah,
I tried. All right.
you're doing what we
We'll leave it
call
at that.
putting good money after bad. Yeah, and then we have one more here. Witchlight Lantern. Once per battle, the wizard can attempt to cast one additional spell that it does not know from the lore of the underworlds. That's
Ooh.
kind of cool, right?
Is one additional spell?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's an attempt to sideboard in this game.
So it gets you an extra spell and also one that might fit like what you need right now.
Yeah, exactly. Once per game. Yeah, I
Okay.
like it though.
I do too.
It's
That actually
cool.
seems yeah, that I like that.
It's good design space.
I think so.
Yep.
I definitely think so.
Overall, like I think the relics here are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I think Arcane Tome is still like a high pick for me,
Mhm.
but like I don't know. Like I don't think every list. There's like a lot of stuff here that I really like.
Yeah.
All right, overall, A plus.
Certainly doesn't seem bad.
Yeah. So now we have the lore of the underworld. So I think when I talk about the weaknesses, I think we have a very strong spell lore, but it's hard to cast, and we don't have great wizards for casting it, or like a lot of wizards in this army either.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but like so, I think it's fair to do this review for the lore. Once talking about a normal little foot wizard doing it, and once with Nagash doing it, or something like that, right?
Yes. Yes. I think
Um,
that's very fair.
yeah. So the first one is Spirit Cage or Soul Cage, and it's just a cast on the 7, pick an enemy within 12, and they have the strike last. Like,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Eh.
This
So my
puts in the old book at a 5, by the way. But go ahead.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. I see.
hmm
Um so it just got a straight like 2 nerf
Yeah.
casting value? Oh, okay.
hmm
Um yeah, I don't have much more to say on that then.
Yeah. Which is why I like Master of Magic for this book a lot too. If you really
Yeah.
want that strike last, you just plop it in on
Yep.
that hero. Yep. But like I think it's like, strike last is very strong.
It is.
Yeah.
Certainly
It's
is.
just it sucks that it's on a 7.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
Good for
next.
Nagash, I suppose.
Yeah, and then Nagash it's on a 4, so it's good, right?
Right.
Yeah. Spirit Drain. So you cast on a 7, pick an enemy with an 18, and then roll 1 dice for each unit or model in that unit, invisible to the caster. Uh, for each 6 up, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Okay, that's a pretty standard one that like everybody seems to get.
Yeah, and like I know the 18-inch range and having to have models wholly within the 18-inch range, and then you can just like touch it at the end, and then it hits the whole unit. Is like a much bigger bubble than the Rancid Vegetation from Nurgle, who's like a 7-inch and only models within 7. But a 2-up is very different than a 6-up, also.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't like this one, but like
No,
they all
I'd
can't
probably
be
never
winners.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those that, like, actually, Techless might have access to that almost exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those, like, with Techless, it's like, I might do it if I just need to, like, ding a couple extra mortal wounds on something, maybe.
Yeah. But it's just like,
But, like, I'm not gonna pick it actively to be like, oh yeah, that's the one I want.
and I feel like a younger
You get
me would
one.
have been like, oh, this is great against like grot swarms and like swarms of anything.
Yeah.
And like kind of, but like you know what else is really good against those units too is just hitting them with your hammer.
Yeah. And that's probably way more effective.
Yeah, and because like my first thought was like, oh, but then it like forces a morale test that they can't fail, or that they can't auto pass. And then I'm like, oh, but you have to be in combat with them anyway. Okay, you're in combat with them, so that's how you dealt with it. You hit them.
And think about it this way, like, on a unit of 20, it does an average of what, 3 mortal wounds?
Yeah.
Like
These could easily be
it's
5
okay.
ups across the book, you know? And then
Yeah,
there
I
like
think
might
so.
be, especially at casting value 7.
Yeah.
Fucking yuck.
Yep. Agreed.
All right, next one. Life Stealer, casting value 7. Pick a thing within 12. D3 mortal wounds, and then you heal for each mortal wound that was allocated and not negated. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's better on Nagash than not Nagash, I think, but
I think most things are.
well, the reason why I say that especially here is because he knows all of them.
Yep.
And I would never ever like pick this one over like some of the other options here.
That's fair.
This is my 5th pick.
Yeah. It's a good thing he's got more than that number of spells.
Right, exactly. So like, I guess we'll talk about more. Like, we should do the other spells before we go over like what our picks are. But
yeah,
like I don't see myself like picking an enhancement slot on a hero for this. Is the problem? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One I do see though me doing a lot is a Seal of Shaiish, and this is casting value 5, and you pick a Nighthaunt within 12, and you give them a 5-up ward until your next hero phase.
Fucking solid.
Yep. So what I don't get is like this is clearly supposed to replace Mystic Shield, right? And like we have the technology, we've seen it in the Soulblight book, the Sylvaneth book, like I think one other, but like at the top there's like here's the spell lore that everybody in this army knows. Why like that should be in that section, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't have to be forced to pick this, but like I think you need a hero with this in like every list.
It certainly seems to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that was a real missed opportunity. Every hunt wisher should know this in addition to whatever. But that's the end of that. Next one, Shade Mist. Casting value of 6, range of 12. Pick one Nighthaunt unit within range. Subtract 1 from wound rolls that target this unit until your next hero phase. Solid, good stuff.
Yep.
So like, you pick it, you put it on your thing, you go forward, you charge them, you give them -1 to hit, -1 to wound. And if you've ever been in that situation where that's happened to you, it feels terrible.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
That shit sucks.
I'm sure I've done that too enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's probably my 2nd pick, I think, in most average lists. And then the last one, I really like this one. Called Spectral Tether. Casting value of 4. And it's the caster can teleport and deep strike outside of 9 of enemies.
How did they come up with these casting values?
Like, how is that a 4, right?
Where the fuck do these numbers come from?
I don't know.
Do they just like actually roll dice themselves and be like, well, this is what our game's gonna be? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Here's a dice roll.
Yeah, I don't get it. And if it wasn't for miscast, Nagash would automatically get this no matter what.
Yeah,
Like I think that's a really good thing with him.
that's pretty crazy, actually. Like, he could
Lady,
literally just be anywhere he wants to be on a given turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Allender, I think, loves this because she has a very powerful shooting attack with a 12-inch range.
There you
So
go.
she can just be wherever she wants
Yep.
to shoot. Like that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, this is a yeah. I think most heroes you don't super care about. Actually, Guardian of Souls is your natural wizard, right? And he's got the bubble of +1 to wound, which is less valuable in this book than the last book, but still very good.
Yeah.
So like maybe like this spell's good. But you
Like,
see what I
so
mean about life
4
stealer?
casting value, like, what is
Yeah.
that?
But like you see what I mean though? Like this whole right side and like the top left, like those four, like I think are the like you have to take some combination of those.
Right.
Yeah, Spirit Drain and Life Stealer might not exist. Spectral Tether makes that a relic of like once per game or cast a thing not in, that you don't know. Like really good, right?
Now, here's a question. Does Arcane Tone get you an extra lore spell, too?
No.
Okay.
It would be a lot cooler if it did.
Well,
That's
yes.
already good enough, but
No, it definitely is.
yeah.
I was going to say, if it does do that, then it's that other one's totally useless. But
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, no, that does give that other that relic life, though, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, you might want a once per game teleport.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
Well, like I can see that too. Like you take it and you're like, well, there's a situation where like I really want Soul Cage or I really want to teleport, and you don't have to commit to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the flexibility gives it extra
Hmm.
legs. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, I really like it.
Yep. Me too.
And then yeah, overall, like I think this is like a strong spell lore with wizards that aren't super poised to take advantage of it, except for Nagash, and then it's ridiculously good.
Yep.
Great. All right,
But
let's.
Nagash really needs stuff to be good, though,
Yes, I agree.
because
I
he costs a lot of
He
points.
costs a lot of points. We'll talk about that a little more when we get to the War Scrolls,
Mhm.
I think. But yeah, let's talk about the legions right now. So the first, I think, yeah, like I said earlier, I think they all have like some merit to them, at the very least. And this one is really interesting to me. It's called the Grieving Legion. So enemy units cannot retreat while within 3 inches of the Grieving Legion units with 10 or more models. So that kind of rule, you can't retreat. That's another one of those things that like will never come up often. But
Yeah.
like when it comes up, it like the guy's gonna be like, I'm gonna retreat, go on to this point, hold it, and you're gonna be like, no, you
Mhm.
can't, and then they lose.
Yep.
Right? Like that's very
Hmm.
powerful. That being said though, um, there's not very many situations where unless you're reinforcing units, your 10-man unit's gonna not take casualties.
Yeah.
So like you have to reinforce.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to turn off.
Yeah. So like this wants you to run like Chain Rasp hordes and like Grimghast Reaper hordes, I think,
Yeah.
which aren't inherently bad, but like the incentive structure is not there, and it could have been with a ruler of the spectral host being written correctly.
Which one was that one again?
The one where on a 4-up you do a broken thing, or
Oh,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
work. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
yeah. But see what I mean though? Like
Yeah.
it was so close to being like this is a very powerful build that like has merit, and now it's just like half the games you play, this is a very powerful build that has merit.
And the other half, it's just nothing.
Yeah,
Literally nothing.
yeah. But yeah, that's my gripe there.
Actually, no, it's worse than nothing. It's actually false hope.
Yeah, like it cost you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Not to mention, like, that it's also, like, you know, you could have had any other relic, so it's actually that minus that thing, minus the hope that you could have gotten it to win the game, and it's just,
honestly,
yeah.
it's a little worse because it's a command trait too. Because at least you can get multiple relics. You can't get multiple command traits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the
Okay.
only way.
I think we beat that one to death of like just how annoying that is.
I think it's important though,
No,
like for
no, I
giving an
agree.
honest
I
review,
agree. Yeah.
like that's like if I was like rating this out of 10, that alone docks it at least 1 point, maybe two for me.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it was so like obvious this was supposed to be like core and fundamental to like this kind of build, and then they just dropped the ball so hard.
Yep.
Next one,
You're like, what if this was random? Because
yeah,
rolling dice is fun. Well, rolling dice is fun, but not when it's that egregious what the outcome is.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, next one is I rate this one very highly. It's called the Emerald Host, and you might recognize this as the only subfaction anyone took last time, but it's very different, but it's good. So you pick D3 plus one different units at the start of the first battle. So after armies are set up, but before the turn happens, or is even decided, or before the first battle round begins. Okay. Pick D3 plus one enemy units on the battlefield. At the end of each battle round, roll a dice, and on a 2-up, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds or D3 plus one if it was a monster. What do you think of that?
It's very random.
Yeah, because it's like no,
It's like
random number of
compounding
units.
randomness again.
Yeah, I mean so let's I'm thinking about it let's look at the worst case scenario. You get two things,
Yeah.
and then you put on there two snivelly little shit support heroes,
Yeah.
and then you kill them over 2 or 3 turns. Like that's not bad.
Did I read this wrong? Hang on. Oh, the end of each battle round. For some reason, I was thinking I missed that part. Okay, yeah, actually, that's not bad at all.
Yeah,
That's even like pretty good.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I look at this and then I think about the Scriptor Mortis. And what if the Scriptor Mortis just worded after armies have been set up, but before the first battle round begins, you can pick one enemy unit on the battlefield. At the end of each battle round, roll a dice for that unit you picked, and on a 2-up suffers D3 mortal wounds, right?
Oh yeah.
It could have just been that, and you showed me the technology was here in this subfaction, but you had to make it this paragraph of
Make it a
kind of
paragraph
semblance
that
work.
was just painful to read, and
Yeah.
when you got to the end, you're like, wait, this doesn't do anything most of the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how cool would that have been if you're what does the Scriptor Mortis do? It gives you another Emerald Host target. Great. That would have
Yep.
been a really fun build. And I think
Yep.
people are still gonna try the Scriptor Mortis build with this and just see how many mortal wounds I can do to you without engaging you.
Yeah.
But I think if you're running the standard battle lines, the natural battle line units, and then you don't really care about the special subfacts we're coming up to later. I think this is such a strong pick. You just soften up your biggest threats.
Oh yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, I love this one. I'm probably gonna be playing this one a lot.
Yeah.
Even though I'm painting my stuff very close to Grieving Legions, but I don't have faith in that one as much as I do in this one.
That to me, that's a who cares kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
exactly. That's how I feel too.
People
Unless
seem to be more sticklers about it with Space Marine Legions, but I feel like those are more well known than any of these will ever be. So
oh, of
who the fuck
course.
cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, you just paint what looks good, I think, and then you
Yeah.
just say what rules you're running.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
If anyone ever gave me shit about that for AOS, I'd be
We probably won't
very
play with them
confused.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next page. We talked about these enough, I think. But yeah, Emerald Host stocks. Scarlet Doom. Yeah, this is the reason why I'm painting Blade Geist, by the way. So, after a friendly Scarlet Doom Blade Geist Revenant unit makes a charge move, you can pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of that unit. If you do, roll a number of dice equal to the target the number of models from the charging unit. For each 5 up, the target suffers 1 mortal wound. So, like this makes Blade Geist battle line too. So I think like the meme dream here is you get a unit of 30 of these bad boys and charge them in and do on average 10 mortal wounds. Which that's
Pretty
hilarious.
fucking gross.
Yeah.
That is. Is that even a dream or is that just like reality?
We'll talk about it a little more when we get to the War Scrolls, I think.
Okay.
I think it's worth mentioning, but I think even if like you're not like if you're doing like MSUs of Blade Geist that are 10 by the way, that's still like 3 mortal wounds, 2-3 on average.
Yeah.
And like there's units in this game that have like D3 mortal wounds on the charge. And like that's pretty good. And this is like
Just better in like
it's
every
strictly
case.
better, right?
Right.
Because it's better on average and it has a high ceiling, of course.
Yes.
Like if you ever talk to an ogre player on how much of their little charges, right? This is
Yeah.
halfway between their beast and their little fat guys.
Yep.
On like a pretty good unit, I think.
Those things kind of.
Yeah.
And the ogre's ability is like, I've been destroyed by that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one, but probably least in my opinion, is the Quicksilver Dead. And its ward rolls cannot be made for wounds caused by attacks made by melee weapons by friendly Quicksilver Dead Dread Scythe Harridan units. So, like I think ignoring wards is like powerful in its right for sure. My problem is that this unit doesn't have natural rend. So it has no rend, so like it seems like what's the point?
Yeah.
And I think like if you're in like a local meta and it's like 2 or 3 of you, and then like your opponents are like Nurgle and like Daughters of Cain, like Hagnar specifically, and they're like they don't have armor saves but they have good ward saves, and like you keep losing to them, you're gonna pick this every time and you're gonna bully them, right?
Just saying. Against Gotrek?
He doesn't have the ward save, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't he still have like a? Oh, he has a 4 up though. Honestly, actually, that's not bad either. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think this is like really the crux of how good the dread sites are, and I think that's more of a discussion then. It makes dread sites or battle line too, but like.
Okay. Oh, good.
I'm skeptical about this until we talk about that, but.
Yeah.
I
All right. Before we move on, everyone look at those pictures and think about what's wrong here.
I don't see anything wrong, Bill, because
nothing wrong.
Well, because the top one's red, which is scarlet usually.
Yeah.
And the bottom one's silver, which is they're called Quicksilver, so that makes sense to me.
Yep, everything's good. All right, let's move on.
No. So the problem you're pointing out here is the Dread Scythe Harridan picture is for the Blade Geist Revenants subfaction, and then the Dread Scythe Harridans have the Mirrormorn Banshee.
It's like what?
Yeah, it's the wrong creature. Which
how did you do this, GW?
Yeah.
What?
It tells me that they didn't know what these subfactions were going to be necessarily.
Correct.
Yeah.
Those paragraphs were lorem ipsum for a while they were putting this together.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they should have just made the Dread Scythe Harridan one, the Scarlet Doom, but like that's nitpicking at this point. All of them exist in all of the factions.
I thought it was funny because when I was reading them, because it was like, wait, those don't match.
Oh, it is funny. Like, yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yep. Okay. Jesus Christ, Bill, it's 8:40 and we just got here. Oh yeah. Had a long night. Okay. It's fine. Grand strategies. These are mostly boring. I'm just gonna pick out the kind of 2 that are interesting. Assault Acclaim. So after deployment, but before the first battle round begins, the enemy unit with the highest wound characteristic is marked as the target. And if more than one has the highest wound, you pick one. So you complete this grand strategy if you kill it with summonable units. And I think with summonable units is the thing that kills it at the end. But like, I
Yeah.
think this is the closest we got to having one of the grand strategies in the book being taken over the generic ones.
Yeah. But also, it's like a fun and interactive one where you actually have to do something,
Yeah, it's good.
which feels nice
I
too.
like these. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish it wasn't just with a summonable unit. It always feels like it's like, oh, ooh, ooh, and then you get to the last line, you're like, why did they destroy that?
Yeah.
Had
Exactly.
that happen so many times.
Yeah. And like, I like honestly, if it just said kill the thing with the highest wound characteristic,
Yeah.
like I think I would take this.
Yeah, and it would be fun. It'd be like a thing to do, and like you'd
Yep.
actively try to do it to
Mm-hmm.
get the points, and it wouldn't just be like, look, I did the thing by having you not kill all my wizards, and I had a million of them.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, ugh, they were so close here.
Yep.
And then the other one that's really funny to me is Feed on Terror. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if one or more enemy units are on the battlefield are terrified. Designer's note: you cannot complete this grand strategy if all the units in your opponent's army are destroyed.
What the fuck?
Right?
So wait, you're telling me if your opponent has last turn, unless they actively need to try to kill something of yours, you don't get this?
Not so fast, Bill. Because
Mm.
remember, we are the Grieving Legion, and you cannot retreat from us.
Oh my god, look at that
Fucking
combo.
got him, dude. Dude, I'd be so embarrassed if I were you.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Can you imagine playing such a bad sub faction for the sake of getting your grand strategy? I'd be so embarrassed if I were you.
Yeah. How embarrassed would you be though if you were playing and like that was the case and it worked for you them, right?
I know.
Yeah. That's like playing against like a
But then I
shitty
feel
deck in
like
Magic and then you didn't draw your lands. And then they're like, I beat you with my better deck. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
it's like, ah,
Yeah.
I can't even say anything because I lost. But
Mm-hmm.
god damn it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right. That's really it. We'll skip these because the other ones I don't care about. Um,
And it's getting way later than we expected.
yeah, I guess we chatted a lot. We had a lot to
Yeah.
say. We'll try to rifle through these, but okay. So this one, I don't think there's many that are interesting. There's one, um, if three or more enemy units are terrified, I guess. So you just have to count on not killing anything, which kind of feels bad.
Mhm.
And then the other one that's like maybe doable is if two or more terrified enemy units fail a battle shock. But like, the generic ones are better.
Yep. The generic ones are better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually feels very difficult to
You
do.
complete this tactic if at least two friendly Nighthaunt units are within a half inch of the same enemy unit at the end of this turn. I get. Yeah, that's fine.
That one's fine, yeah.
Yeah,
That one
like,
seems doable.
eh. All right, next. We hate these. We know it. All right,
Yeah.
War Scrolls
It's just
now. Big Daddy Nagash didn't change at all.
okay.
But like, I think he's still very good for this army because the lore is very good, and like, there's synergies of bringing back like multiple summonable units,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows the spell that gives things 5-up boards, and then he has the command ability to give it a 4-up board, which is kind of cool here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think, yeah, he's good here. He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's the only hero monster in the army.
Yep.
He lost the reroll hits and wounds spell from the old book, which kind of hurts
Which
him,
kind of
but he can
hurts.
be wherever the fuck he wants now because he can teleport.
Yeah, which is so silly.
Yeah, so he's fine.
Yep.
I think that's really all to say about him. There'll be lists with him for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Lady Ollander. She changed quite a bit. So she's 340 points, where she used to
A
be like
lot.
200.
Mm-hmm. But
What's
honestly, I like those kinds of changes as long as they made it worth when
and
the big models are bigger and
well,
do
you heard me
things.
on the show say too that like she's a Mortark. She should be like 300 worth it. I think I
Right.
said exactly that.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. Did they do that? So she's a War Master now. So she counts as your general. Great. Love that role.
Yep. Me too.
Um. What else? She has two spells. That's the same. Her Gravesand Time Glass used to be like a once per game heal herself or damage enemy. Now it's just she has a 4-up ward. I'll take that every fucking day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I love it. I love it. I love it. No Rest for the Wicked. This changed, and I think for the much better. So it's not a command ability anymore. It's just a once per game. You heal D6, or you return D6 models to every summonable unit in your army. Once per game.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
A plus. And like with Nagasta, she can re-roll the dice there or add one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Take your daughter to work day. Yep, perfect.
I don't know what you're returning at that point if you've spent 1,300 points on that, but you know,
I don't know
it's
either,
okay.
but like
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
it is.
But yeah, also, so if an enemy unit uses a command within 12 inches of her on a 5-up, they don't, and they spend the point anyway.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
Stocks, man.
That feels good.
Yep. And then lifting the veil. So 12-inch range shooting attack. You roll a d6, and on a 2-up, you deal that many mortal wounds. If the enemy unit is terrified, it's +1 to that roll.
Wait, you're saying that could just be you roll a 6 and they get 7 mortal wounds dealt to them?
Yes. In
So the
addition,
minimum.
yeah. In
In
addition,
addition,
each model you slay, you heal D3 wounds.
wow. Okay,
Yeah,
that seems really good.
with her 4-up ward.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay, hang on. I need to go back to a rule earlier that I meant to say this about.
Sure.
It's ethereal.
Okay.
Can we just talk about how they turned that into? If we didn't know what ethereal was already, they turned that into the biggest in addition thing like ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, oh my god!
This thing is a
Like,
6-up ward. In addition, it can retreat and charge. Also,
in addition,
yeah.
you can't modify its saves. Wait, what?
I wish they just like put bullet points. It's like ethereal means the following. Bullet 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be so much better.
That's how I'd organize it, but
I would probably just make them different goddamn rules. Like,
yeah.
why did you chunk so many? I guess they got to come up with fancy names for it. All right, whatever.
Yeah, that's a
I'll
nit, but like I
cede it.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then her spell is the exact same, which is you pick a unit on a 7, you give them -1 to hit, and you get +1 to hit
Okay.
them. Yeah, 340 points. She's very good,
Yes,
I would say.
I agree with you.
Okay. Reikenor the Grimhailer. So he is 190, 7 wounds, 4-up save, wizard, 1 spell. He got an extra attack, and he hits on 3s instead of 4s, and he's got an additional rend from before. He used to reroll wounds or reroll hits on units of 5 or more. Now you add 1 to hit and wounds against priests and wizards, which I like much better because you never charge them into horde units. That's silly. That's how you get them dead.
Yeah, that is how you get him dead.
Yep.
Oh, and he moves fucking 14. Holy.
Yep.
Jesus.
And then he has
He
his
is fat.
candle thing still, where he snuffs out a candle, wounds himself for +3 to cast, or wounds an enemy for +1 to cast. So he's your bonuses in that army. And his spell is D3 mortal wounds to a unit, and if you kill a model, D3 more.
Wow.
Yeah. He did go up like 40 points, but like I think there's 40 points of value here. Like I like this War Scroll much better.
Yeah, he seems good.
Yep. I'll play him a lot, I bet. Kurnos Valentian. This guy. Remember when I was talking about if you have enough rend, your Frightful Touch might as well be mortal wounds?
Yep.
So, to start with, he moves 8 inches, 7 wounds, 4 up, 10 bravery. He's got a 2-inch reach attack, 5 attacks, 3s, -3, -3 damage.
Oh my god.
Yep. And 6 attacks, 4 is minus 1. 1 damage.
The mightiest hammer in all the Mortal Realms that the game is literally based on doesn't feel special anymore.
No. Yeah, because the fucking Cuckold King has it right here, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Uskavar's better. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. So he just comes down, he smashes, and then he has the deny the command point on a 4-up thing. Or on a 5-up, rather, that he used to have. But it's a 4-up if he's in combat with a hero.
Is that whenever you get a point, he can steal it?
The first time each turn you get a point.
Okay.
Yeah, you can steal it. Yep.
Interesting.
2 10 points.
So that's not as game breaking as it was in the previous edition.
Nope.
It feels like a good ability now as opposed to like a man, it really sucks when this happens.
Yeah.
Ability. Which I think is better. I think that's better design space.
But yeah, I agree. He got an additional rend. He went up from D3 with a 6s to wound or D6s to just flat 3. And before I accounted Frightful Touch, that's like a 20% damage increase right there.
Yeah.
So he's awesome. And like again, like he might as well be mortal wounding. Especially if you get the -1 rends, that's like rend 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he slaps. Yeah, like somebody's talking shit on Lady O, and then he runs up and he's like, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth." All right. Anyway, I love him. He might be a little too much points, but I'm gonna try him.
Yep.
We'll see. Next one is the new hero, Ulrich the Drowner.
Oh yeah, who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know. I haven't heard about him.
Do we
in
even
lore.
know the model for him?
Yeah, he's the Tibia Mariner from that like the leaks show, or not the leaks, but the reveal show last time. Remember, there's the new Nighthaunt hero that they showed off.
I don't remember this guy at
Yeah,
all.
like alongside Fondia, they showed him off.
Oh.
He's just a guy in a boat.
Oh yeah, he's the guy in the boat.
Yeah,
right. Yes,
Tibia
I do
Mariner.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he's 175 points. He's got 4 attacks, 3 threes, -2 D3. That can get bigger. So he's got a special command ability, which so he's a totem, so it's an 18-inch range. He picks himself up in a unit that he can see with an 18 off the table and deep strikes them outside of 9.
Oh boy.
Which
Okay.
Good. Yep.
Yeah.
So when he charges on a 2-up, he does D3 mortal wounds. And if he killed a model, he gets D3 extra attacks with his little ore battle.
Okay.
Yeah, and he is
And what does he do for damage by himself?
4 attacks,
Yeah.
3 threes, -2 D3. He's
He
fine.
works.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's good.
And the model's fucking sweet.
Yeah, I need that soon as I can.
It's like I need that in my life.
Yeah, I love him.
Gimme.
Just because he's in a boat doesn't mean he's a pirate.
But he's totally a fucking pirate.
I love him though. Yeah, I'm gonna get one. And I think he's powerful.
I assume he's unique.
Yes, he's unique. All right. And if you notice, the last 3 heroes are all part of the Grieving Legion. But like I said, it doesn't matter because I don't get anything from it anyway. Because they're not a unit of 10 or more.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, right?
Like, they went out of their way to, like, do that and then, like, made it totally irrelevant for this one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so, we'll talk here the Knight of Shrouds. I'm not very high on these. I think you said you liked them. But let's talk about them.
I didn't think they were bad.
Yeah, so 135 points for the foot guy, right?
Yep.
And 5 attacks, 3 threes, -1 2 damage. And so it's, at the end of the combat phase, if they slate an enemy model, they increase their wound characteristic by 1. Both of them do. And then they heal 1 too. So they have the Orc Mega Boss rule.
Yeah.
But like, it makes sense here because they're like stealing ears. I love it. Yeah, that's cool. And then, so they both have like a once per battle round issue of free command, but it's different based on which one they are. And then they can fight in tandem with their units.
It just felt like enough.
It's fine.
To me.
Yeah.
Like they're moving fast enough. They're 4-up ethereal, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can take relics, right?
Yeah, so the problem I have with them is the Knight of Shrouds on foot can issue redeploy or unleash hell for free. And I
Yeah.
think the unleash hell strictly depends on how good the crossbows are.
Yeah, that's true.
By the
That
way,
one's probably not.
Kodar's Lenshin makes the crossbows battle line if he's in your army. I forgot to mention that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the Knight of Shrouds on foot gives all out attack. So do I want to spend 155 points to give one unit in my MSU based army all out attack? Or 95 on a unit that is an aura +1 attack? Is my issue with that.
Which one has that?
The chain gas. These guys.
Well, when you put it that way, I was reading this in a vacuum.
Alright, yeah. Like, I think they're fine in a vacuum, but I don't see, like, compared to the rest of the book, I don't see it, is all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But, like, there's some interesting stuff you can do here with the free command points. And the fight in tandem is not quite as good as it is in other armies because you have so much access to strike last, I think.
That's very true.
Yeah, but also, like, if you charge with two things and you get a strike last, you just give an additional rend.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And like the damage doesn't seem that bad.
The damage is fine. It's just there's other heroes that do more for cheaper, I think.
Oh, yeah. If that's the case, that's fair.
Yeah. Dreadblade Harrow is what makes this interesting, though. So he's got okay attacks, and at the end of the movement phase, he can just teleport wherever he wants outside of 9.
Mhm.
And once per battle round, if your general issued a command, you can issue the same command without a command point being spent. Which is
Interesting.
really cool.
Yeah. I was showing everybody the roughly finished product.
Ooh, very cool.
Yep.
I love him. He's
a little grayer than I wanted, but I did him quick. Like, I was able to get that guy done in like no time, and like I'm happy enough with him that I'd play him. So
yeah, exactly.
that's what matters, right?
You might be able to dry brush him later too, or something to fix it. If he's a little too gray, I don't know.
Well, the gray is unfortunately mostly in the recesses, so it doesn't help too much.
All right, yeah.
But
just thinking out loud, I guess.
Oh no, that's fine. But yeah. But that's what I'm like trying to do with this kind of painting method, though, is like just get the guys that I'm like not super interested in painting, get paint on them, right? And if I decide later that it's like, you know what, I actually have a cool idea for this and I want to do it, I can paint over it.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
There's nothing stopping me, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So let's just get some guys done while I'm enjoying this painting technique.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it goes. You have a lot of catching up to do, I think you said, right?
My pile of gray is stupid. So yes, this will help immensely.
Yeah. But let's see. So we're talking about the Dreadblade Harrow. Like, he gets the free command point. So consider this too with Ulrich. If you make Ulrich your general, and then he uses like that deep strike ability, this guy can then use it for free in addition.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I think that's going to be great.
Oh, wow.
But I think even in general, too, like just having multiple discorporates in a turn.
Yep.
It's pretty good. He's 145 points. Is that too much for that effect? I don't know. I don't think so.
What else does he do? His damage looks okay. It's the normal hero damage. I think four attacks, 3-up, 3-up, -1/2 is just like the new default for heroes, foot heroes.
Yeah.
Like Stormcast had a ton of it. It seems pretty normal.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay.
Why they even bother giving that second line of attacks?
For the horsey.
It's just honestly, it's kind of annoying to me because it's just like it's probably going to do nothing. Like, why is it there?
Yeah.
It's just rolling a whole pile of extra dice for seemingly no reason. Anyway, that's not what I was looking at.
Yeah. And then he can
145
anywhere he wants in the movement phase. I'm gonna try him out, but that's a little much.
I'll be honest, he doesn't seem that much better though than the other guys we were talking about that you said kind of
You
nah
get the
to.
free ones, yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
he doesn't seem.
I think the Ulrich ability makes it really good, and I think if like it was a free Discorporate, I'd be way more into it than a free like all out attack or like a redeploy or a shooting. You know,
That's fair. That's fair.
the Knight of Shrouds on foot, if like we think the crossbows are good, or if you're gonna run the crossbows, is good. It's just we're
Yeah.
very stretched thin for heroes is the problem here.
Yep.
Yeah, and I really like Discorporate.
Oh, because you have so many heroes that you want to run.
Yeah,
You're saying.
exactly. But overall, there's some cool tricks you can do with this guy. I think.
Mhm.
Let's go on. Curlgas Cruciator, my favorite, second favorite generic hero, I think. Maybe my favorite. Let's talk about it though. He's got 4 shooting attacks, 3 threes minus 2/1. Okay. And then he's got 4 melee attacks, 3 threes minus 1/2. Cool. Makes that nice and hard to remember.
Yeah.
But however, so if his special thing is if he's within 12 inches of a terrified unit, subtract 1 from the damage inflicted to a minimum of 1 by each successful attack that targets a Nighthaunt unit wholly within 12 inches of this unit. That's fantastic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
The Seraphon Thunder Lizard is like the most common sub faction. And like that's their passive is the -1 damage, right?
Yeah.
And this just gives it. He can hold relics pretty well. You can make him a wizard with the arcane tome even if you wanted. He does it all, man. He's okay in melee. So like you don't hate charging him in. He protects himself by giving him out -1 damage.
Very interesting. Okay, I'll be honest. I was reading that over and over again that whole time because I wasn't sure I fully understood it.
Okay.
Because there's like a lot of words going on there
Yeah.
again.
So it an
But I
enemy
get it.
unit
I
has
do.
okay. Yeah. Just in case somebody at home doesn't. Enemy
Yeah.
unit has to be terrified, so it has to be in combat with a Nighthaunt unit to have this aura turned on. That's really all it means.
Okay, so that feels like they wanted to use Terrified in it, but it was already like the only thing it that does is like says, oh, if you're, if you're getting shot at but you're not in combat, then you don't have -1 to damage. That's
Yeah.
probably irrelevant anyway, because most things shooting you are dealing 1 damage.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't they just leave that part out and
I
just
agree.
make it
Yeah.
-1 to damage? Right?
Yeah,
Like
I think
that's
I
a
agree.
lot of words for like no reason.
Yeah. For something that is
Like,
essentially -1 damage.
yeah, like the times that that condition isn't met and it would have mattered are like so low.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It feels like a waste of text.
Yeah, I
It makes
agree.
it hard to understand.
Yeah.
Or
Overall,
fluff.
though, I think this is one of the best heroes. I'm gonna run this guy a lot. Do
Oh
they
yeah,
stack
no, it
though? I
doesn't
don't know.
distract
I don't think
anything
so.
from the fact that
Yeah.
he's very good.
Yeah, I agree. Because if like they stack, and you just have like 2 of these together, they just negate a fulminator charge.
Oh, I mean, rules is written pretty positive they stack.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's like a. I don't think there is, but I don't know if there's a core rule saying that like auras with the same name can't stack.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, but if they can, like, if you have a bunch of damage 3 running around, you can just
Yeah,
shut that right off.
just fucking shut that shit off.
Yep, I
Goodbye.
really like it. Okay,
Is there enough damage 3 running around that's worth it?
fulminators, dragons, mega gargants, orcs.
Yeah, there is.
Um, is there more? I guess if
Probably.
Crag knows. Yeah, I could see it like happening for sure.
Right.
But even if there isn't, and there's just damage 2, You just adjust your list and spread them out, and then have more of this -1 damage bubble. Either way.
That's fucking fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very fair.
Yeah, and then like that's still good. A
Yep.
lot. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Like even if it's ruled that you can't stack these, like
You might still bring 2 anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Because
powerful.
damage 2 is definitely prevalent enough.
Yeah.
Feels like it's
And
fucking
that's like
everywhere.
and that's what kills hordes so much too, right? Like it
Yeah.
literally has the damage. Yeah. So good.
Yeah. Yup.
Okay. Lord Executioner. 5 attacks, threes, -2, 2 damage. A little bit better than the standard profile. Has a 5-up ward. And at the start of the combat phase, you pick an enemy that it's in combat with and give it -1 to wound. Until the end of that phase.
Oh, that's impossible to read on stream.
Yeah, some of these are like just covered in glare.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but
Oh no, that's okay. A lot of the time when like, you're like reading, I'm like also painting, and like I just can't get all the rules in my
yeah,
brain.
that's fine.
That's all.
Um, did you get that one though?
Nope. That's why I was looking.
Okay, so -1. So he picks an enemy unit in combat to give -1 to wound with.
Okay.
5 attacks with 2 rend, 2 damage,
Okay.
5-up ward.
Seems pretty
140
good.
points.
140 points. Seems pretty good.
This is a hero I never ever brought ever,
Yeah.
and now I probably am.
Fantastic.
And another reason why I think the Knight of Shrouds is not quite as good.
Yep.
Because I just like him way better.
There's just so many options at this point range.
Yep.
That you just like better. Yeah, like I read when I was like, yeah, this guy seems fine. What are you talking about? Like it was totally in a vacuum. I was just reading him, being like, he seems fine.
Yeah.
But like, if it's so crowded for this point slot. Yeah, doesn't seem nearly as good.
All right. Guardian of Souls is a great hero. It's your wizard. It has a 12-inch bubble of +1 to wound, and its unique spell is casting value 6, and you return D6 wounds worth of summonables to a unit. So if like they're 1 wound, you return D6 of them. They're like 2 wounds. You return basically half of your roll rounded down. Pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this guy a lot. 150 points. So he went up 20 points from the old book and didn't change at all and kind of got worse because of the allegiance ability. But like he's still I think he's still very good. Like an auto take, I think still. Especially as you're only like not named wizard.
Yeah. Like you want your spells.
Yeah. And like we talked about, the spells are good. His unique spell's very good.
Yep.
Like I think it's almost worth giving him an arcane tome so he can like double spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's next? Spirit Torment and the Chain Guest. So Spirit Torment's 115 and mediocre. 3 attacks, 3-up, -2, 2. Even in the Arena of Shades, he was 4-up, so he got better in this.
That's cool.
Stayed the same points. And remember how we were like, oh, it's so great that like he only needs to kill 1 thing to trigger at all, instead of like having to kill 3 and then getting D3. He doesn't have to kill anything anymore.
What?
It just works. At the end of the combat phase, you can pick 1 friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit, wholly within 12 inches of this unit. You can heal up to 3 wounds allocated to that unit, or if no wounds are allocated, return a number of slain models equal to the combined wound characteristics of 3 or less. Auto take.
That's fantastic.
Auto take. And then, so these guys changed a little bit too. So they went up 20 points. So they were 75, now they're 95. But in the Arena of Shades, they had a 5-up save, and now they're a 4-up again. Which is
what did they
weird.
do with that Arena of Shades book? Like, what the fuck?
Very weird, right?
Very weird. Like, I expected them to change none. Like, why would they?
Yeah, and like everything's changed so far.
That's so bizarre. Oh yeah, all right. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what
the Scriptor Mortis is, right?
Yeah, like there's a nugget of hope now that it's not totally useless.
Yep.
Who the fuck didn't talk to somebody
I
when
don't
they...
know, man.
What?
So dumb.
Were they scared of that ability in the second edition book, but not in the third?
I don't know.
I'm so
I
confused.
don't get it, man.
No, it makes no
Especially
goddamn
like on the
sense.
save. Right?
Yeah, like what?
Yeah. Oh well.
I
Oh well, I
don't know.
suppose.
That's okay. You got it.
Yeah.
That's cool. It got better.
Mm-hmm.
No
And
complaints to it
yeah,
getting better, but
and as long as you have a Spirit Torment on the table, which unless they kill it, you will, they give a +1 to a hit aura, and they have like a decent shooting attack.
seems like your hero spots are filling up real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These aren't heroes technically, but yeah.
Oh, fair.
But
Well,
you're
that makes
right.
them even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way I see this is like it's a
Isn't it like a
210 point
unit of
unit.
2 or something
It's
though?
a unit of 2, right?
Yeah, that's so confused. That's weird. I don't know
Yeah.
another unit that's like that.
But like I just consider these like a unit together at 210 points, and it's so worth it.
Mhm.
They're very good.
Yeah.
And then we have the old fantasy heroes that got carried over. One of them I think is very good, and one of them is not. So we'll do the very good one. We got the Banshee, who's got like D3 okay shooting attacks, and then like a little bit of melee attacks. She's 115, 5 wounds, 4 up save. And you probably can't read that thing at all because it's very difficult to.
Yeah.
So basically what she does is in the charge phase, you pick an enemy unit within 12 and roll a dice and add 1 to the roll if that unit is terrified. And on a 4 up, it costs 2 command points to issue or receive commands from that unit.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That
she
doesn't seem bad.
shuts off command. Yeah, so she's up, and it's until your next hero phase. So like it shuts off unleash
Oh, so
hell, all out defense, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't shut them off, right? Just costs an extra.
yeah,
But still makes it like a lot harder, like a lot more of like a question of like, do I want to do that?
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. I think she's good for her points.
Yeah.
And then
That would lead me to believe that this guy isn't.
yeah,
I wonder why.
so he's got 2-inch range, see below, 3 hits, or 3 to hit, 3 to wound, -1, 2 damage. And the attack characteristic is equal to the number of enemy models within 3 inches when it makes an attack. So it's like this little dinky horde. He's a 25mm base too, so like we're being generous here. Let's say it has 10 attacks on like its
Yeah, we're
best
being generous.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care about that, do you?
10 attacks is pretty good. I don't
Yeah,
know. 3 up, -1, 2.
it's all right, right? And then they just like turn around and then kill him because he's a 5 wound 4 up save hero.
I mean, he's nothing special,
No.
but he's 115 points.
So if that or yeah, that relic weapon is FAQ to be 6s to hit, I think this guy becomes hilarious
Yeah.
with that relic. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't.
All right, you were selling this guy as awful. I don't think he's awful.
Would you bring him?
With the other options you have, fuck no.
Exactly.
But like, he's not that bad.
Yeah,
He's probably that bad. All right, never mind. We're moving on.
yeah. There's worse in this book, but yeah, there's not. There's a lot better.
Yeah.
All right, Chain Rasp, the first battle line. So they're 110 points, 5 up save, 8-inch move. Used to be 6. Um, 2 attacks each, 4 up, 4 up, no rend, 1 damage. And then it gets +1 to wound on the charge. So I think they just went out of their way to find the most insignificant combat buff they could give this guy, which is fine because they're not here for damage.
It's true.
Yeah. I worry about 110 being way too much for this unit.
Yeah, 110 does seem kind of high.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the good news is you don't have to take that as your battle line, considering they gave you a ton of options.
Yeah. That's the end of an
But
era, I guess.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. All right, moving. With Discorporate though, the 5 up board, like that's something. I
yeah,
don't know. We'll see.
yeah,
I'm not huge on these right now.
yeah. Which is honestly fair.
Grimghast Reapers though. Let's see, 160 points, 10 of them, 2 attacks each. They're hitting on 4s, 3s, -1, 1 damage. The unit leader is D3 damage instead. And if they're attacking a unit of 5 or more models, they get +1 to the attack characteristic. I like these enough, right?
Yeah, they seem fine.
Yeah, the thing I really like about them too is the 2-inch reach on their weapon
Mm-hmm.
on a
Yeah, it
32
definitely helps a
millimeter.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like I think this is the if you want to do like a reinforced unit, I think this is the way to go.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah, and their damage is fine. And even charging in like yeah. If you can get these Ren 2, they're really good.
Yep.
Yeah, I have nothing much more to say, but like yeah. If you really want to make the Grieving Legions work, I think this is your unit.
Yeah.
Them in like the Chain Rasp, of course, but this is the hammer in that army. Or even like Emerald Hosts. I think I like them there too. Even at minimum, I think they're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this guy, we talked about this one, not on stream, but together. Great Glaive Stalkers.
Ah!
They unit of 4, 105. 1 attack each, 4s, 3s, -1, 2 damage. They get +1 to charge. And their special rule is at the start of the first hero phase, they pick an enemy unit. And then at the movement phase, if they move closer to it, they get +3 to charge. And you might be thinking, well, that might be really cool to like, get like your guaranteed last hit off on your Wave of Terror. But no fun detected. And Wave of Terror is unmodified.
Sure is.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck these things are doing.
They're literally useless.
Yeah, other than like, yeah,
They 100% intended that to work with Wave of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%. That was what they were pointed for. That was the idea. And then like last minute they changed it to unmodified because someone's like, "Oh no, you can't have that be modified. That'll blah 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 ruin everything." They
Yeah.
changed it. Totally forgot this unit existed and what the fuck the point of it was,
Mm-hmm.
and printed.
Yep.
And that's what happened.
That's all. The
Yep.
end. Game over.
Yep.
Which
Oops.
sucks. Yeah. Oh well.
Yep. They made that unit useless.
Worst scroll in the game, I think, right now.
Yeah. Like you were like, is this worse than Slongors? And the answer is
I think so.
unfortunately yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is
And it sucks because I
abysmal.
really like the sculpt.
Yep.
I have 24 of these things.
Oh, that's so depressing.
Yeah, and they will sit on the shelf
The
forevermore.
entirety of 3rd edition.
Yep.
Unless they realize their mistake.
Yeah.
And just like point these down to like, I don't know. What is even like an acceptable number for this?
They
Like,
were
I don't even know.
65 in the old book.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that. And then you like bring 1 in case like you are like down 70 and at 65 they're better than an endless spell.
Yeah. And also probably better than a Triumph.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe.
Shitty. All right.
Sad.
Spirit Host, I rate. So they lost their like mortal wounds on 6s, which is sad for them. But they're elite now, which is weird because they're mindless, but I'll take it.
Are they summonable?
They're summonable.
And they're elite.
Yep.
All right, I won't question any further.
Yeah, we got a couple of those in this book, but yeah. And then so they have a special rule now where they have the worst version of Bodyguard, but they have Bodyguard on a 3-up. Of like, so they take the wound for the hero within 3 inches, and then nobody gets to make a ward no matter the outcome.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so it's before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to a friendly Nighthaunt hero, or instead of making a ward roll for a wound or mortal wound, that would be allocated to that hero. If any friendly units are within 3 inches of that hero, you or if any of this unit or if any friendly units with this ability are within 3 inches of that hero, you can roll a die. On a 3 up, that wound or mortal wound is allocated to a friendly unit with this ability instead of that hero and cannot be negated.
So if you don't pass it off, you also don't get your ward roll.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I think is how they intend Bodyguard to work, but they don't write it that way ever.
No, literally never.
Which I think it's fine if it worked that way. Literally, what they should do is just make Bodyguard a keyword like Ward. And then just say how they want it to be.
Yeah, and then just put it on the people that have it instead of like having
Yeah.
a bajillion different versions of it like they did with Ward.
Yeah, and like I hear people talk about it's like I don't like keywords. Because you have to memorize what the keywords do. I'm like, well, it's not. I disagree.
It's way better than them writing different rules for every single one of them, and they're all slightly different. And you read it quick, and you're like, I know what this does, and then you miss a subtlety, and you
Yeah.
don't know what it does,
I agree.
and then you feel bad about it later.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a big keyword guy, to be honest.
It was because it was either better than you thought it was, and you're like, man, I feel dumb for not noticing that. Oh man. Or it was worse than you thought it was, and you're like, damn, I'm a fucking cheater, and I feel awful.
Yeah. The end.
Yep, those are the only options.
Yeah, just keyword this thing.
Yep.
I don't know who you're fooling. But yeah, I think as a unit though, 125 points for this, and to like have bodyguard, like I think that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna run these a lot. And then like Lady O bringing a D6 of these back in the unit.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. Just yeah, I think they're really good. They're like your cheapest battle line other than Chain Rasp. That makes sense in minimum. So yeah,
Yeah,
I love these.
that's very interesting.
Yeah. Next is another unit I really like too, Hex Wraith. So they lost the mortal wounds on sixes, but again, Frightful Touch is an army thing. We've been over that. But they have they have a Pip of Ren now, and they never did before. And they have +1 to hit basically from last time.
Okay.
Which is cool. And then their horses are 4s and 4s instead of 4s and 5s. So that's kind of something. And then, so
5s and 5s is the most worthless profile in the world.
Yep.
I'm just throwing that out there.
For sure.
So that's good.
Yeah, and then so on the charge, they do D3 mortal wounds on a 2-up. Or they have this other special rule where basically they can double move, but then they can't charge. Yeah, so at the start of your movement phase, you can say they will perform a phantasmal advance. And then if you do, double the move characteristic, and then it can't charge that phase.
Okay.
Which I like these. I could see like a list too.
Wait, can you run with that as well? Did you say you couldn't? And I missed it?
I think it counts as your run. Because it's at the start of your movement phase, you can say this unit will perform a phantasmal advance. So like you're saying you're performing
Oh,
this
so it's
instead
like
of performing an
different.
advance.
It's different than you're doing this instead of running.
Yes.
Okay, and you said double your move characteristic?
Yep.
Okay. Yep, that checks out.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm seeing lists ideas. I guess that won't work against everybody, but like you just like double move a block of 15 of these into your enemy's face. And then you put like Shade Mist on them, and then they have to like deal with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like they will deal with them. But then you have like a turn, maybe two, of just setting up. And then there's some stuff that like flies that don't care about that.
They are kind of expensive though.
Yeah. But even just like a decent.
They do have 2 wounds though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a decent cavalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Miramore Banshees are basically the same. You can't read this. Yeah. The glare is insane on this photo, but They dispel. Yeah, they have that rule where like they can dispel on the casting value on spells that are cast in their range, right?
Yeah.
And then they're up from 75 points to 105 and then it didn't change anything else. So I'm not as high on these anymore now that they cost 40 more points.
That's a lot more points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 105 is like one of the cheapest things in this book though.
Yeah.
So like if I have that many points left, they'll go in and that's really it.
Yeah.
But
That's
like
sad.
it's something I was excited about that got way worse, which is sad.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We're almost there. Bladegeist Revenants. So they drop 15 points. Their battle end in that Scarlet Host thing, so they get that extra charge stuff. They have 3 attacks on the charge, otherwise they have 2. And they're 3/3s -1 damage. Yeah, so their War Scroll didn't change, but like the Scarlet Doom existing makes them way better.
Way
And
better.
they're the only thing I can see in this book that like went down in points.
Yep.
And so like them being 190 without the Scarlet Host, yeah, I didn't care about, but now
Now?
care very
Yeah.
much about.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I think if you're not doing Scarlet Host, I think I like Grimghast a little bit better. Just because of the reach and then the I don't know though, because like I think this is fine. But like they're more expensive, so yeah. Anyway, Dreadscythe Harridans. So this is the one Quicksilver Dead, where they can ignore wards. But they don't have any rends. They're 4 attacks each though. 4 up, 4 up, no rend, 1 damage.
Four up though.
You add 1 to hit and wound. If it's
Okay.
within 6 inches of enemy models that have wounds allocated to them, or models that were slain this turn. So 3's 3, like it's interesting, but
That's really hard to get to 3s though.
yeah.
I mean, not hard, but you do have to jump through hoops, so they're not like good on their own at all.
Nope.
160 for 10.
Mm-hmm. I guess they just fight second in combat and you get that, right? Because you like dogpile with other units and then they fight first, kill something.
Yeah, but you do have to dogpile with them.
Yep,
right?
you do have to. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sold on this.
Yeah, and then the other rule they have is
maybe that'll make up for
the
it.
turn they charge, they get -1. They give the enemy within 3 inches -1 to wound.
It's something.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so that could be -1 to hit, -1 to wound.
Yep.
Easy enough.
160 points.
This might be a support piece.
It's interesting, yeah.
It's
But,
like, because then,
yeah.
because if you do combo with something else, you can just have them go second, and then they do get better.
Mm-hmm.
You can ignore ward rolls, but they don't have any Ren. But like, does it matter? Because you can, maybe.
Yeah.
Feels like no more than like 1 of though.
Yeah, which makes the sub faction feel like a trap to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not huge on these, but
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
All right, and then the last conditional battle line is the crossbows themselves, the Craven Throne Guard. Yep.
They change it all.
They got 4 up ward instead of 5, or 4 up save instead of 5 up save.
Okay, that's something.
Yeah,
although they are shooting. Did you say they went up?
Yeah.
20 points, did you say?
20 points, yep.
Okay, never mind. Throw them in the bin.
Yeah.
We were already like these guys are like so mediocre at best. And then they went up 20 points?
Yeah.
In the bin.
I gotta try them, but like I'm not excited.
No. No, that's very disappointing.
Yeah.
Like all that math you did of like, oh, maybe if so not only was Frightful Touch not what you needed it to be to have it be good.
For these units.
Yeah.
To be very clear.
They also went up 20 points. So like all your math was just totally fucked.
Yeah.
And suddenly they don't.
Better.
They just don't look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
shame.
well. Yeah, it
I
is a
think.
shame. They're so cool.
Yeah. Well, we've always been surprised by like how good shooting units are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try
Some
them
maybe.
because I own
Yeah.
them. Uh, but yeah.
That's very sad.
Yeah, I think so.
That's like it feels like false advertising too. To have them go up in points when the
Yeah.
book comes out. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Very sad.
Very sad.
But maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
But maybe.
well maybe.
Let's talk about the
Do they
black.
have
Oh, go ahead.
they only have one wound each, right?
Yep. And they're 5 for 115.
Sad.
Yeah. All right. Black coach. So, same wounds. Didn't get the hero keyword. Has the totem, but this would have been cooler if it could take like the combat relics.
Yeah.
It's got a fistful of decent attacks. I'm not going to read them all because it's kind of a waste. They have a 5-up board. In their movement phase, they can teleport wherever they want, which is really cool. On the charge, on a 2-up, does D3 mortal wounds. And then they have this weird rule where you put a dice next to them that starts at 1. And whenever something dies within 12 inches of them, you increase it by 1 to a maximum of 6. And if the dice is a 5 or a 6, they have a 4-up board instead of a 5-up. And in your shooting phase, you can blast something for on a 2-up, 3d3 mortal wounds, and then set the dice back to 1. So like to me though, like I wish they didn't have to level up and it was just like even if it was like on a 4-up, do like 2d3 mortal wounds. I wish they just made it like a shooting attack that was just flat mortal wounds, right? Instead of this weird level up thing.
I don't mind the level up thing, but they need to get rid of that 2-up
It just needs to
bullshit.
happen. Yeah.
It just needs to happen. Like, stop making it so that you can set everything up and have it do nothing. That feels so bad.
Yeah.
There's never a time where that adds to fun.
Mm-mm.
It just feels bad.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 335 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't like the. I think they're going to be fun. I think there's a double list out there that's going to be interesting. The
Mhm.
5-up board is good. The teleport anywhere is good. And
Yeah.
like, if you bring 2
And
of
it
them, you
does.
can count on it from happening for sure. Yeah.
And it sure has a fistful of attacks.
Yep.
I
So
can't really read them, but that looks like is that 9 attacks with a spectral claws?
yes.
4 up -1/1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. It's pretty good. It's just a
Yeah.
little expensive for what it does.
Yeah, it's a little expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agree. But 4-up save unrendable with 5-up ward.
That could
That's
be a
not bad.
4-up. Yeah.
Yeah, 12 wounds. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they needed to be a hero. There's a Karen Wraith on the back. That's a hero. It literally says it's a Karen Wraith, but this isn't. Okay, whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
I that one seems like it'd be fun.
It's
I'd be
fun.
happy to play
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Swords of the Briar Queen are like okay, but they're 280 points. Um, I don't really want to spend a ton of time talking about them. They have like a mediocre spell. You know, I'm not bringing them. I'm not excited for them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Reaper of Shaiish, 70 points to do maybe 2d3 mortal wounds. Nope. The tornado is like an aura of 6 inches of on a 2-up do 2d3 mortal wounds. 85 points, don't care. Bolt of Souls is especially egregious because like it hits hordes on like a 6-up. So like on average it's like 2 mortal wounds to a unit that can dispel itself. Nope.
Yes.
And then these are the
Well,
points. You can ally in Soulblight Gravelords, which I think the little wagon, the corpse cart, is a good one for the -1 wound bubble. But you also
could
have a
you
lot of
ally?
-1 wounds, huh?
Could you ally in anything before?
You could yeah, Soulblight and Flesh Eater. So you
Okay,
lost
did
Flesh
they?
Eater, yeah.
Oh, sad.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's really it for the book. And then this is my list I'm trying tomorrow.
Oh yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, so it's going to be Emerald Host, So I don't have the Blade Geist ready for the other one yet. Lady Hollander, she's going to have Spectral Tether so she can teleport, shoot, wherever she needs to be. My General's going to be a Guardian of the Souls with Master of Magic and Soul Cage. So if I don't need to heal anything, I give something Strike Last, Dogpile it, continue on with my life.
Yep.
Kurlghast Crusader is going to have the Light Shard of the Harvest Moon, which is the +1 attack. And then
Seems good.
Spirit Torment, I'm going to do a Warlord Battalion here. Or Command Entourage, actually, even. And give them the Arcane Tome with Shade Mist, which is the -1 to wound. Battle line is I'm having 2 minimum Spirit Host, 2 minimum Grimghast Reapers, and then a max Hex Wraith. I'm going to try to do the double move block up thing. So I'm just going to put Shade Mist on it, send it off, and then Discorporate when it gets into combat with anything.
Nice.
Yep. And then the Kurlghast and the 2 Grimghasts are going to go in the Underworld here. Just so when the horses run up, get to where they need to be, I'm going to drop the Kurlghast right in the middle of them. So they have -1 damage too.
Oh my goodness.
And then when they do a good chunk of them, Lady Ellender's going to bring back D6 of them.
Oh.
Yeah. Chain Ghasts, because I really like them, with all the other little support guys I have running around.
Yep.
And a Mirrormorn Banshees, because that's all the points I had left.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Let's see if it does anything.
Yeah.
I think in the future, like, I might be putting all my eggs in this one Hexwraith basket too much. But like I said, you gotta try the memes first.
Yeah, you gotta try it.
Yeah.
You gotta find out if it does anything.
I could see like a list of just 3 minimum Hexwraiths being fine too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would like have to fight one at a time basically.
Yep.
Or like spread them out thin. Yeah, I like the idea of 15.
It does seem like fun.
Yep.
That's for sure.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this will be exciting and fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And you got your Myrmidon done. That's cool.
I got my Myrmidon done. I got the Elf Boy done here.
There
we go.
And I got like 40% of all of these Nighthaunt guys done, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And just gotta get the copper on them. Yeah, I think we're good.
Cool.
And the basing. Yep. Very cool. Well, this one went so fucking late. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's almost 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna call it a night, but next week we're gonna go over all the reveals from the Warhammer Fest.
Yeah, hopefully we get some cool stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, that might change
definitely
if like a Daughters of Cain thing happens. We'll see what happens.
I'm definitely betting on one of the, because there was a picture somewhere and it looked vaguely like a fairy, kind of.
Oh, that's a Sylvaneth hero? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm betting money that's a Sylvaneth hero. Okay, I'm not actually betting money.
It looked like the Kurnoth being carried by like the same beetle that the spear guy from the last box set was holding. Remember? It was like the
only vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looked like a Kurnoth with a bow being carried by a beetle.
But we'll see if it comes true.
Yep. I'm very excited for that. So check that out tomorrow.
Me too.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, thanks everyone for joining. Sorry about all that, but we'll talk to you later.